No. Let's adjust this slightly. Let's give you some more wiggle room. Oh, there's only about a millimeter of extra wiggle room. Well, that went well, didn't it? You can't tell what I'm talking about. Can you? Nope. Nobody knows what mysteries permeate the mind of this. Not safe for kids, but the video is still probably for kids. Media maker on YouTube. Whoa, I almost dropped the phone. That would have been embarrassing. I didn't, though. Embarrassment averted. We are going to do some Energon Invitational sealed practice, just building a deck with 3 Siege 1, 3 Siege 2, as they will be doing in the mid-rounds of the Energon Invitational Tournamented Packs Unplugged next month. I'm going to be doing this again, hopefully tomorrow, but I got impatient. I wanted to try, making one sealed pool already, and I'm probably going to pick another one up tomorrow, because I have fun with that kind of stuff. As always, I am streaming on my phone. Sometimes I miss the chat, and I apologize for that. That's on YouTube. Their thing makes the chat disappear. Hi, Real Hyba Man. Hi, Slayers. Shoop. Hi, Fun to Building. We're gonna do some of this theory crafting. I'm gonna check in here and there with the chat when I can, but I'm also gonna be focused on my theory crafting. As for the whole thing I'm talking about, not for kids, blah blah blah. I'm gonna be filming a little thing about that situation. I actually filmed it a couple days ago, but it was 4 in the morning, and I was very repetitive, so I want to do it again. Also, I think I had like a little white dot on my nose, and I didn't like the way it looked, and I'm vain. So we're going to try to solve that too. But I'm going to talk about that stuff. I have a lot of thoughts on that stuff. This channel is not going to be deleted or go away unless someone else does it. That's the long and short of what I'll say here. But it's a very unfortunate situation, and YouTube has thrown every single person on the platform under the bus for the sake of data collection, and that sucks. So, the way that sealed works is you get 6 packs, you pop them all open, and you get to make a team of 25 stars and a deck size of, I believe, 25 cards, if I recall correctly. So I'm just going to shred these now and see what my pool is. Personal rule I'm having for this practice version of sealed is if someone is really just me and Hoopla are probably going to do some of this, but if we pull a super rare, right? That ain't a super rare, but that's a lionizer. That could be a thing. It's oh, hi Hoopla. What are you talking about? This is as you can see, this is an unboxing of a Hasbro box I received, and we're just here to talk about some Bob Hoops. You can probably just go to sleep. I mean, it's late, right? You can just go to bed. Okay, I think he's gone. Anyway, soft rule that I'm having for practicing sealed. If one is practicing sealed and one pulls a super rare, one should probably swap that super rare out for a common, since it's very unlikely you're going to actually pull a super rare on the day if you did it not on the day. Just mathematically speaking, with a lot of confirmation bias. That's what I would say a soft rule for casual and practice sealed should be, is if you're practicing especially, don't practice with a thing that's a 1 in 50 booster packs, because that's, I think, a little bit out of the spirit of realism. IMO. I missed a whole bunch of this. Hello Afrotoa, hello Picky Peeves, hello Black Hawk Omega. We're doing some Energon Invitational styled sealed practice. I should also say that I'm going to make this a little bit more organized here. When it comes to theory crafting and whatnot, don't watch this, either live or in the archive version, thinking like, all right, time to get some hot, fresh tech. Because there are a lot of people on YouTube who are much better at tech crafting and generally playing card games than I am. And like, for instance, Vector Sigma, I believe, have 1 or 2 videos up, at least one, of doing some of this kind of sealed practice. I want to do Siege 2 second. What am I doing? If you want, like, real hard theory stuff and you have no idea where to start, like, they're probably a place to look. I haven't looked at any of their stuff yet because I want to try doing this blind a little bit before, the event. Alright, so no super rares from Siege 1 for this pool. That said, like, I'm still going to try to suss this out as best I can. So if you take any helpful knowledge from that, then aces. But like I said, I am not a tech expert whatsoever, and I feel like it's important to to state that clearly. I don't know. I figure I should just state it clearly. I missed some stuff. The Combaticon, the stream was sudden. It was. X Sword Stone X. Yo. Yeah, this is a spur of the moment thing. I was like, I could do this by myself at my desk, but why not have fun with it? Hoops. Yeah, it's likely someone will pull a super rare good to play against. Absolutely. I would like try. What I would say is, I'd build a thing with the super rare, build a thing without the super rare. Pass the super rare over to you. You build a thing with it. You know. Because whoever pulls Lord Megatron in sealed, unfortunately, I think they've got it. Unless you get really, really into it. Because Lord Megatron in a limited format with 25 card decks is just kind of. that's built. That character's real happy there. That's like what do you call it? Nemesis Prime in 2-pack Turbo in Wave 1. It's kind of like, yeah, you probably got this. It's more, can I put one in you before you put him in me? By which I mean your gunfire in the fictional battle of this card game. Oh, Deadlock, hi. Alright. Other things that I know from slight experience, when it comes to limited with Siege 1 or Siege 2, you expect a ton of black pips, so lots of pierce, which means do not build for blue. Also, upgrade removal is a lot more difficult without Wave 1 or Wave 2 cards. Alright, no super rares in this pool, so this is a nice, normal average pool. Don't worry, Swordstone X, there's plenty of toys. This just isn't toys. You'll find toys eventually. Alright, so let's look at it. Oh, I needed a third one of those. This was all worth it. So, we have a card pool, we have characters. The way I tend to do things is try to find character synergies first. No Slayers, this is not a red sweater, this is a light, sort of, light, tangerine, long sleeve shirt. I don't sweat, so I don't wear sweaters. That's just ridiculous. Okay, I thought for a second every single character was, but I pulled, okay, this is weird. I pulled 2 9s, 2 8s, and 2 7s. That's, okay, so what's 9 plus 8 plus 7? 9 plus 8 plus 7 is 24. So I want to use a 9, an 8, and a 7, most probably, unless I've got some hot stuff in here, or some hot star cards over yonder. Lionizer could be a thing if I have a lot of black pips, and I got some, oh, okay, those are some black pips. Let's go grab our star cards, and just set those aside for now. We got 2 of them. 3 of them. We got 3 star cards. Alright. Are these likely to be useful? Fuel Cache, I kinda doubt it. Heroic Resolve, if I have Autobots, yes. EMP Wave, I kinda doubt it. Unless this really feels right for the characters. So I might use Heroic Resolve as a 25th star. If I do, all big characters. Our little guys. Lionizer's a maybe. Roadhugger's fun. Tote is unlikely. Sea-Watch is unlikely, because I don't have the patrol. None of these match up. This is the leader of this patrol. This one is kind of fun in that whenever this untaps, Blackjack heals himself one. That could be a thing, maybe. This one, if I have a set of a green pip thing, this might be something. So these 2 are maybes. These 2 are absolutely nots. In my opinion, anyway. Fuel Cache is a no. EMP Wave, pretty much a no. Heroic Resolve, probably it, but we'll see. Am I timing myself? No, I'm not, because I'm doing a stream. But deck construction, I believe, is 30 or 45 minutes. I'm not too sure. I think it's 45, but I can't remember. Let's see. So, character-wise, Chop Shop could be real big something. Greenlight, possibly. Deadlock, I doubt it. Chromia, it wants blue, and I don't want to build for that. Sideswipe, no. Most likely not. And, let's see, Scrapnel is a maybe. Ooh, okay, so we got Bug Sins. We got Bug Synergies. This would be 9 plus 7, 16. That leaves 9. Greenlight's a maybe. Alright, so this is some potentiality going on here. Blackjack, unlikely. Night Flight, unlikely. Roadhugs, maybe. Lionizer, let's see our pips. Next thing to do, let's peel out pips here. So we got pure black, we got orange. What I'm talking about with black pips, you see right there, right? That's a whole pile of black pips. Lionizer is a maybe if I've got a lot of black pips. I probably got a lot of black pips. Let's just count black pips. That's kind of the theme of the Siege sets as far as limited is concerned. This could be huge. Alright. That's a lot of black pips. That is 14 black pips out of a 25 card deck, potentially. Alright, so let's say Lionizer. Let's say Lionizer and Greenlight. So that is, that's 15 stars right there. We got 10 left over. We could stick in a 9 and, where was it? We could stick in Scrapnel with this team and still have room for Heroic Resolve. So let's do that. Off the tops of my head. Let's see. So, this is unlikely to be used. That's for trucks, so we'll put that there. War of Attrition could be fun. That could be fun. That could be fun. Defensive Configuration. How much armor have we got? 'Cause I don't feel like there was a ton. We got 1, 2, 3 armors. I don't think this is going to do anything, so we'll put that there. Soldier's Blaster. Oh, yeah. That is something. That's something. This is... I don't know. Maybe. Let's hang on to you. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's not going to be it. That's a maybe. Maybe. Oh, no. Okay, so just with that peeling apart of what was there, now we've got 5, 10, 13 cards. Alright, there was more over here. I didn't even look at the black pips. That's 13 without the black pips. Let's see. 13 plus this. So, okay, this will work out. That, sure. Yes. No. Swerve. With him, with Scrapnel, maybe Swerve. Let's keep it in the wedge formation. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Let's keep you in for now. Yeah, sure. Okay. No. Maybe. This probably sucks, but, well, you know, this, okay, what does this add up to? So we've got 15, 24, let's just say this is in for 25 stars. This is kind of how my brain works when I've done sealed before. So let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 26. All right, we're real close. I dropped my, I have a thing. Let me show you my thing here. What did you think I was going to show you? This is my my brush cleaner. I do minis painting on here too, because this is my best lit area in my entire living space. So this is my little thing of soap from my paintbrushes. I'm going to try to get the stuff away from the desk edge. Alright, so as I was saying, this is kind of like my my usual brain process when I'm doing this stuff. And I've won a sealed thing, so hopefully this brain process actually kind of works. But let's see. So let's do blues, oranges, and stuff with neither blue nor orange. So we got orange. That's a white. This is all not that. There's a lot of non so far, which is unfortunately a pattern when I'm doing these kind of things, I've noticed. Okay. So we've got 5 oranges. Whoa, that almost fell off. 7 blue and 3 white. I'm okay with that, you know. It's not... I don't like going full orange or full blue anymore, so I feel okay about that, but I'm not feeling super great about this pile of... I mean, there's a lot of black in here, so this counts for attacks, but we've got, let's see, 11 that are neither orange nor blue. I should probably trim one of these out. I would really like to trim this one out to get to 25. So if this is our 25 cards... 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All right. So, off the top of my head, Lionize, so head-on collision. I like head-on collision, in sealed at least. In constructed, I was using this all over the place, and then I kind of realized from my pip layouts, I was like, I got too much white pips. Wait, I could just swap in Leap into Battle, and I could bring up the blue pips that I want to bring up anyway. So, in sealed, though, I like this. This has been pretty cool the few times I've seen it. Swerve, I think Swerve is pretty cool for this. Because I could flip him, right? Do the scrappy Healy stuff, and then he defends, swerve, boom! 2 defense. I don't know, seems like a thing. War of Attrition is just lovely. Even if there's only one, it's a ping. Pep Talk and Sealed, I think, is great. Infiltrate, I would keep this in because there will be times when this is useful. I think if it's best of 3, right, keep this in, and if this doesn't work, swap in one of the other ones. I don't know, maybe personal targeting drone just for like the extra pierce. But I like having Infiltrate on hand. I think it's really helpful. This thing, there's enough blue this could be helpful. This is good with Scrapnel because it has got scrappiness. I have a specialist, so I just double checked that. So this could do some stuff. This is our star thing, gives us double blue, and Hoopla could tell you I have made this into a horrible day for myself and other people. So this is fun to sneak into one of these things. Energy transfer with a Battle Master, absolutely. Defensive formation, why not? I mean, it's +1. Bold with all this pierce and Lionizer, yeah, let's just get in there. Although, I'm now realizing Lionizer 0 attack, without much orange, that could be a problem. But when he's on green light, that could, maybe I should swap in another couple oranges in here. Okay, so, how long we've been like this for less than 20 minutes, so I still got time. So if I'm sitting here going, I should swap in a couple of oranges, shouldn't I? Yeah, I kind of want some more oranges. What oranges did I toss? Which we could just put in for Pip sakes. These Pips I like, so I'll put that one in, even though I can't really play it. I got green Pips in here, so I can get it out of my hand. We'll put defensive configuration back in. Alright, so I'd like to swap these 3 in for a little more orange, and I'd like to swap out non-Pips in their place. The Gyro Blaster. Oh, man. Maybe I'll sideboard this, because I think that might not do a ton of work in this sealed format. So that's a 1. We need to swap out 2 more. Battlefield Scan is actually pretty unlikely to ever happen, I think. And, I mean, unless I want to alpha some Micromasters, I suppose. Maybe we'll keep this because it's a green. Get rid of Smoke Thrower, because I don't think I need that much bold. So Gyro Blaster, Smoke Thrower, 1 more. Maybe we'll get rid of Battlefield Scan. We'll put these 3 in. Alright, by the way, when I count up cards, I do it in 5s. It's just the way my brain works. Alright, that's 25 still. Okay. So, now I think there's something happening here. So, ideally, we start the game, we open with Lionizer, they have to hit Lionizer, then we move into Scrapnel, then they gotta hit Scrapnel, and then we move into Green Light, and by then they're like, who am I hitting? I don't know, off the top of my head, that seems like a thing. Oh, okay, there's a COPPA thing in there I should probably mention. COPPA doesn't care if you swear. COPPA, as far as I have read, and as far as I have understood it by watching a whole bunch of coverage, and a whole bunch of talk about it, COPPA doesn't care what's in the videos. COPPA cares about whether the videos present themselves as appealing to children. So if you have a video, right, that's like 20 minutes of you screaming 3 cuss words at like, I don't know, an effigy of genitalia made out of bread, for instance, but your thumbnail is a cartoon character, then it's for kids. That's how I understand the risk of that whole system. It's not being enforced by YouTube, it is being enforced by a government body, and YouTube is accommodating that government body in a way that allows them to still collect user data, and so that is the unfortunate scenario that we're in right now. I've gone through the mental gymnastics myself. I've talked to folks who try to figure out, well, how do you win? You don't. We've been screwed. There's no winning in this scenario. There's only survival. Unless you're American, in which case you can actually directly engage with the FTC since they're in your country. I'm not American, I'm Canadian. So I am limited to, like, what? Writing them an email and signing a petition. Woo! Alright, let's do some goldfishing with this setup. Let's just do it. That is a loud rumble outside the window. Hopefully that's not a helicopter about to come in here and blow up my apartment building. That would be unfortunate. We're not sleeving these, because this is, you know, casual games. We're gonna riff these a little bit. It's harder to do when I hold them up off the table. Oh yeah, everyone's screwed. If you talk about toys, don't worry. No one is more screwed than anyone else. We all screwed. So I saw a fresh video today about that stuff, about whether or not everyone gets a $40,000 fine. There is a point that I think did not make the rounds, because I first heard it in that video from a clip of the press conference, which was that the $40,000 was based on a numerical equation that is a multiplier applied to the revenue one has made off of the video in question. That means that folks like myself, most anybody who isn't a multi-million subscriber channel, if they were to get fined, it would not be $40,000 most likely. It would still be a pile of money. It just would not be $40,000. So I think it's unlikely that it's going to be a case of how do we bankrupt a random YouTuber to make an example out of them. I think it's still a risk. I still wouldn't say, like, because of that, just challenge them. Because, like, you still could get fined, especially if you're in America. Getting fined sucks. But yeah, the safest thing to do is to just go like, yeah, it's all for kids. And then you lose a bunch of functionality, and that sucks. But YouTube is just a video platform. It's not the be-all, end-all. Even with functionality all crunched down, you still can post videos on here, and you can send the link to other people. So it's not going to have discovery, but you can still use this for free video hosting if you're fully compliant and etc. And yes, Slayer Shoop, I absolutely would love to see one of the Pauls or a Pewdie get, you know, I think the Pauls are the most likely, because they seem to be dumb. So they seem like the ones who would get, you could probably goad them into a testosterone fight with the government. So, you know, that would keep them out of all of our hair, for sure. But what was I saying? Now I lost my point. I got all distracted, getting a chance to theory craft an abuse of the Pauls. Anyway, we're goldfishing. That's what we're doing. So, this is all shuffle. We'll do a cut, to be kind. Let's just say I'm going, here's my opening hand, and let's just assume I'm going first. I always do one going first, one going second, because, like, you only have so much control over that. So if I were going first, you can't really see this too clearly. I should have gotten that 3D printer I don't have, and then put these onto a 3D printed little tapered platform, so they'd all be standing up like this. But that 3D printer doesn't exist, unfortunately. So if I were going in turn one, then I would say we, what's your robot mode? Yeah, we'd flip green light, why not? And then go in with Lionizer. Lionizer's got bold 4, so we flip 2, we flip another 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going in with 1 Pierce 2, so he does a damage. That's not the worst thing in the world. And then we got a pile, I got a lot of green pips in here. Got a pile of green pips. Would I want one of these? Would we want Scrappity armor? Would we want a ping? Would we want armor for green light? Would we want tough 1? And would we want to trade one of these for it? I think it would depend on the matchup. To be honest, I'd like to hang on to this stuff, because this is all just about punching. Maybe trade this for now. We don't need this right away. So yeah, let's trade this for that stirred. And the rest of this goes to scrap. And then, you know, they attack Lionizer. You got to defend, so you flip your 2. Lionizer gets a white pip. His defense is 2, so he probably gets punched in the face. Then we're on to our second turn. We draw 1. We got options again. I would probably want to go forward with Scrapnel here. What with the Brave and all, but what was the other side again? It's higher attack. What if we flip Scrapnel? What if we take a risk? We flip Scrapnel. And we go, Scrapnel's going to attack you or what? Oh no, I can still play 2 cards. So we flip Scrapnel. We give Scrapnel some increased durability. We give Scrapnel bold 2. Scrapnel goes in with this and the bold 2. He's base 5, got a white pip, so 2 more. 6, 7, Pierce 1. That seems okay. So he swings it for 7. They come at, I'm going to assume they're going to go at Scrapnel, so he defends for 1, probably gets a real bad punch to the neck, but he's got plus 4 health right now, and it's very difficult for them to get rid of this if they don't have Ion Storm or someone with an ability. Off the top of my head, I can't remember who else makes those disappear. And then we draw a card. Soldier's Blaster, that's what we like. Oh, it's a green pip. Okay, this is all coming up aces. So we play Soldier's Blaster on green light, right? So that gives her a weapon, and this procs this, so her attack goes up by 1. And then we flip her, attack with her, so she's attacking with a base of 4, but before we attack with her, play head-on collision, so it's a base of 7. 7, base of 8, possible base of 10. And then she swings in for a blank, and then we recycle. This is where I'll stop the goldfishing. I always stop after a recycle, because it's kind of like, at this point now we're playing against a phantom opponent, and we're kind of playing pretend that they haven't killed anyone yet. Let's see, and it is for another one of these, so it's like 9 or 11 with Pierce 1, so that's okay. That seems like a thing. So, to be honest, that's all I was really going to do for the stream, was pop those open and see if I could make a deck. For those who tuned in later, this was specifically opening 3 Siege 1 and 3 Siege 2, like at the Energon Invitational, and just seeing what I could make out of that. We saw all the cards I had, like here's some stuff I didn't use. I think I held all this up for the camera, so for the archive video, you can tell me some of your own ideas. If you see some stuff I didn't, which is incredibly likely, then you can let me know. This is not a sealed pool coming with me to the Energon Invitational, so there's no way you can, like, influence that, but I'm just trying to get my head into that space a little bit, see what we got interactivity-wise. I feel like with Siege 1, there's a little bit more upgrade interference with all those scrap-for-scrap ones, and Ion Storm potentially popping in. So this sealed format seems really cool. I'm excited to play this tomorrow with Hoops. We're gonna go hit that 401 games and do some of that. That's kind of all I really had to say about this. So yeah, I filmed a couple things before this. This is kind of like my reward for filming stuff. So I filmed most of the rest of the footage for this guy. So I just got to write a script, and then I got to film some of the bits at the end B-roll where it's like action scenes, but I like to do that after I've laid everything else out, so I know how many I need to film, and I'm not faced with, like, you know, leaving my baby on the cutting room floor, as it were. So I filmed all the stuff left for this guy, and then I filmed the box opening for the Hasbro 35th anniversary box that went out to a bunch of folks. You've probably already seen openings of this if you follow YouTube Transformers stuff while you're still able to search for it. So I just did my own version of it. And with this video almost done, I'm going to move on to this boy, and then we're going to have a video of the cel-shaded ones. It's just like one video later on. The thing with this card game, if it's not grabbing you, it's a really good card game, but you need to have people to play it with. And with it not being one of the big towering 3, that could be very difficult. So, like, I feel for folks who would like to be into a Transformers card game, and either it doesn't grab them or they just don't have the community to get some stuff going. Because it's a very fun game. I'm so happy that Transformers got a good card game. Because it's right up until I played it, I was like, it's probably going to suck. And it was actually pretty good. So, hooray. This guy, I'm looking forward to opening that cel-shaded version, because, like, I think it's a cool figure. I hate the way this one feels, though. It feels so gross in so many places. Like, this joint, I hate how that joint feels. I hate the head flap. I hate how his head always, like, sinks into his chest. Someone told me that on the G2 one, that Pulse exclusive, that was in the wrong colors, in my opinion, that it felt better, especially on the head flap. And I'm happy about that. I'm hoping the cel-shaded one feels better as well. Because I want to like this figure a whole lot. I like a lot about this figure. It's just that one aspect that's really... I mean, this is fine. Also, I constantly forget how to work all of the leg stuff. Because it's a clever transformation, to be sure. Right, it's this. But I gotta practice that a few times for the montage stuff. The worst thing about shooting a transformation montage, let's get behind the scenes a little bit, is when you're perfectly okay transforming the toy, right? But then you get lost as to where you were filming it and where you want to do some reshoots. And then you have to not only reset to that certain transformation step, you gotta make sure that the transformation step looks like it comes after the one before it and before the one after it, if that makes any sense. Like, you have to make sure the arms are all still in the same place, otherwise you get weird edits that usually people don't notice, but I notice, and it bothers me, and that's kind of all that matters. IMO. Well, I was messing with those legs. I finished him. He's in robot mode. Let's go see some more of this. Wrong colors indeed. Yes, right. Should be purple. Yeah, Sega Spammer, your nearest nerd store is over 3 hours away. It's not worth it. Yeah, no. There are some places here. There's a place playing tonight, which sounds like it's got a really good core going. They're having like a $5 constructed event, but it would take me 2 hours to get there. And I mean, I am admittedly, I have privilege of living around downtown, so it's easy. It's not hard for me within an hour to get to a bunch of other stores that also do Transformers, and I just I can't justify it to myself to be like, for a normal weekly thing, to be like, yeah, I'm gonna do 2 hours each way. Like I can't get my head into feeling good about that. I was good about doing that early on when the game was younger and also wasn't out in Canada. And so getting to play it at all was kind of like a privileged event. But now that there are more folks who are able to get to places that are on the transit line for me, it's just harder to justify it. But no, like folks who just don't have a gaming store that's playing it, or your nearest store is like hours away and you have no idea if anyone there is even going to play it. Like, no, don't try to get into it and just go there unless you are ready and willing to go through the very large amount of work of trying to grow your own local community, which, like, I think it's great if you can do it. I think it's also, like, not something you can just expect anyone to do, you know? Like, I will always espouse how good a game it is, because it is a very good game. But I'm not going to tell people, like, yeah, just go and, go grow yourself a player community. Just, put yourself out there for zero pay. And do all the work, legwork for the store, and just try to grow them some customers. Like, no, obviously not. Like, it's cool if you can. Don't get me wrong. Now I'm, like, talking and not looking, and I did something backwards. What's going on, everyone? As always, when I haven't messed with the figure for a while, Megatron I haven't messed with for, like, a week, I start to forget stuff so fast. Anyway, what else has been going on toys-wise? I finally got that Bumblebee Optimus. Had to order a used one from Mandarake because I've never seen one on a shelf in Canada. Not once. Never. He's okay. His legs are jank, though. Like, I gotta tweak them. Man. I'm forgetting, like, some very basic, simple part of this. My apologies to whoever has messed with this figure in the last, like, 72 hours who's screaming. But, screaming's good for you. Oh, no, I just have to fold it down. Oh. No, you know what you can also do? You can just fold it down. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Megatron. That does solve my problem. I thought I was supposed to fold up that panel, but I guess I'm thinking about the tank mode. Yeah, here's the goof. Here's the dummy. No, Swordstone X. I've been keeping up with all the toys. I've seen the Toy World version. It looks neat. I just don't know if it's gonna be, like, actually nice, because I have no idea who is doing any work for Toy World anymore. So they're showing all this cool stuff. It sounds like the old man tank with the hat turned out well. So it seems like the people working for them right now, whose designs are movie styled, are also good toys. At least, from, like, two people's opinions I've heard. So I'm hopeful it turns out well. I should just leave his head like this. I should do this, and then when I make the video, I should just complain about this really weird design choice to have him have a negative neck. Movie Constructicons. I've got all the ones out so far, and I think that there's some ups and downs, but generally I'm into them. If you're talking about the Studio Series ones, if you're talking about that other third-party company who changed their name or whatever, those things look neat. I like the stylization on them, but again, I have no idea who the company is, therefore I don't know what the hand feels like, and if the hand feels no good, then to me the toy's no good. Story of fans' toys, for the most part. I'm missing a whole bunch of chat here. Samples of Furai model Drift. It's almost like a mini Kurokawa-kuri. That's great to hear, Black Hawk Omega. I got two Furai models I want to start building. I was talking about on the podcast the pre-built, pre-painted ones they're going to be making. I think it's a really cool idea. Just bear some in mind if you're looking at those. It's still a model kit with poly caps. So if it's been built for you and painted for you, I think $75 to build and paint it, if the paint work is really well done and the build is more or less without issue, that's worth it to have a model kit. It's still poly caps. It's still, like, it's not a $75 action figure. So it's going to have that model kit fragility. You should probably be aware of if you're going to mess with it. Talking about Galvatron. Who's Galvatron? Never heard of him. I forgot about this thing. I should put this on his arm so we all know who he is. All right, the mighty Megatron. It amuses me. That's what's important. What was I saying? But yeah, those Constructicons. Like, I just got a hold of this dude, and like, I think this guy turned out pretty well. Like, I'm not expecting him to do much. Look at his body, right? How does he do much while being a retail toy? I think that when you're going to go for like a third-party version of this design, what you're paying for is all the engineering to allow all these parts to actually, you know, pose beyond some basic stuff. Because that's going to take a lot more parts. This guy, he's just a very cluttered boy. I like the amount of head articulation. I think that's cool. I like this stuff. I appreciate his legs. You know, he's not saying this guy is a brick. Like, I heard from someone this dude was a bit of a brick, and I'm like, I get it, but also, you know, is that really a brick? Could a brick do that? No. So I'm kind of digging it. Where did I put? There we go. That's where the deck went. I got to organize this sealed pool of mine. I'm gonna bring this with me tomorrow as well, so we have a third sealed pool to mess around with. I'll put all this stuff over there for now. Yeah, the Revenge of the Fallen one's neat, but this one just, when he's standing there, you know, looking like a rude bouncer. The only thing I'm not sure about is this, because this clips in up there, right? And then these kind of clip in here, and then this just sort of chills, and it's fine, but I've sometimes hooked this, and then that yanks back, and I don't know. I kind of wish that fully backpacketized. Where'd that dude go, though, that everyone loves, who I'm being mean to? This friggin' cameo appearance. Very cool transformation, right? But, like, this stuff down here just doesn't work. This one kind of holds shape, right? But this bit back here still doesn't tab together. This one, you bump the foot, this whole thing comes apart. And, like, I don't like how this feels at all. I love the idea of this, like, tab slot, this bit here, trail racks into this back here. All right, then this tabs into there, locks together, except none of the tabs work. And then it, like, I'm going to try to tweak this. I filmed a clip of how much it doesn't work, so I can guiltlessly try to tweak all these tab tolerances myself. And hopefully I can fix it up. I know folks have had these work, but like Slayer Shoop just said, but, and a couple other folks I know have told me, like, they ended up with one that was fine. I feel like that's the more rare occurrence, going by highly confirmation biased anecdotal evidence of mine, where I was ignoring all videos of this for the entire year, because I wanted to know how the transformation worked as a surprise, and I pulled that off, and transformation is pretty cool. I just wish it held together better. Unfortunately, makes me really curious about the various luxury knockoffs coming out, where they inevitably tweak the molds and whatnot, because they don't have to spend any development budget. They can just tweak molds. Like, this is going to be the next Evasion Prime. Oh yeah, Picky Peeves, this weird stuff. Yeah, this stuff, for a little while, I was kind of like I'm into this, right? Like, the part where it does that. Wait, no, stay down. Okay, it's already happening. The part where it does that, that's cool. Then everything afterwards is kind of like, oh, man. No, stop. Lock. No. But yeah, I like the figure. I just think, like, the idea of paying, given how vaunted this figure has been all year, the idea of giving in and going like, all right, I'll pay 50, 80% markup, just get one in a dealer room. I would feel terrible if I got this thing for, like, $60 Canadian or something. It's a great figure that is immediately hurt the moment you pay extra for it, in my opinion. Whereas, if this were not a plentiful figure, like, I think this turned out a bit better. Just he's solid. Arbitrary Hero! We already did the TCG stuff, unfortunately. It was very quick. It just sort of fell together, but we made this little sealed deck with this sealed pool. Got the rest of the pool over there. I'm going to be doing some Energon Invitational sealed practice tomorrow with a buddy of mine, who I think is still in the chat. a load of hoopla. You know, one of the famed TCG Toronto players, one of one of the pioneers of our local meta. That a load of hoopla. You know, like aside from there's a rumor that a load of hoopla ran an Octone deck before me. But you know, we disproved that when I said I did it first and didn't reply when I was told that's not true. The brewing went okay. I just mentioned deck-wise, I got 4 decks. I don't even have all my playsets done, but I was able to build 4 decks I feel pretty good about testing. I got an Omega Supreme deck. I got an Octone deck where he's got Flame War and Flame War, you know, Sergeant Flame War. Or Specialist Flame War. I'm not sure if Specialist Flame War and Nightbird in a flex slot. One of them goes in the sideboard. I just don't know who's in game 1 yet. Because I also haven't tried the deck properly yet. I tried prototypes of my Omega Supreme and Octone decks, and they felt really cool, so I tried to tweak them a bit more. And then the ones I haven't tested at all, I got a new Major Shockwave with Overwhelming Advantage, because I was like, this seems like an idea with Ratbat. And then Stefan put up his video, and it was kind of like that idea with Ratbat, and I was like, alright, I think I'm onto something. And then I was staring at some cards, and I came up with something for Private Hot Rod, and Sergeant Springer, and right now, Private Top Shot, which is a lot of card draw to get through the deck once, to get Hot Rod activated, and then I snuck a Daring Escape in there because I have 1, and I'd like to put 2 or 3 in there, and see if I can tweak it into a card draw, aggro, Daring Escape scenario. Silver League, I have promos for you. Not here. They're in a sleeve, though. Next time we meet, I need to throw them at you. But yeah, there's some of that card stuff. This Megatron. I need to fix his head. It's starting to bother me now. There we go. I saw someone in the comments. It's gone by now. I can't find it anymore. I saw someone saying there was a thing to put a piece of plastic in here, and yeah, like this appears to be waiting to receive a tab that doesn't exist. So I'm sure there are ways to fix that up, or even just tightening that pin. You know, sticking some sludge in there to slime it up. But yeah, I cracked open a couple things. Oh yeah, it was some of that Power Ranger stuff. Trigger Bear Swag. That's a name. Will I ever review Masterpiece Soundwave? I bought him. I got him back when he was new. I've had him for years. He was at my old apartment. One of these days, I'm going to go through and just do Masterpiece in a row. I keep writing half the scripts and then putting it off, and then I have different opinions afterwards. So it'll happen sometime. I have no idea when. There's something freeing about the way that all of our engagement and community tools are probably about to get, set on fire. Which is, it's a slight, it's a weird nihilistic optimism I'm having, which is that there's no more standards of conduct because nothing matters, because no one's going to ever find our videos that doesn't already, know who we are. So we can just do whatever we want, because it doesn't matter. With a lot of toy review stuff, I'm realizing, for instance, I have some of those Overwatch Ultimates, and then Blizzard turned into, they've always kind of been scummy here and there, but then they just did some scummy stuff that I particularly didn't like, so I'm gonna ditch those figures. I just don't want Overwatch stuff anymore. But I want to film them still, so as I can, monetize their existence slightly. And I have opinions on them, so I decided I'm just gonna film them ensemble. It's gonna be Overwatch Ultimates Wave 1 sampling. And it'll just be a longer video, but I'll have a bunch of figures in it, just sort of overall thoughts. They're all going to hold some kind of signage about Blitzkung and Hong Kong at some point. RG1 Studios, I don't know if the cel-shaded version of this has the fixed neck or not. I still have to film the boxes for those, so I have not opened them up yet. So for instance, with those, or I'm not going to stop collecting them, I just don't know what to do about them yet. The McFarlane Toys Fortnite figures, I just saw 3 more new ones at EB. I was going to be completionist when I thought there were going to be 10 figures total. I dropped that as of Wave 2 immediately, because there's way the hell too many. And Zimman, I've maintained basically ever since I saw Jang's video that yelling at the FTC is pointless. YouTube screwed us all. The FTC, whatever you might think of the FTC, they didn't screw us the way YouTube did. YouTube is the one who threw us under the bus. YouTube is the one who decided to do that instead of ceasing to collect so much user data. Wave Sign, what's Ustream? Does Ustream still exist? I thought that wasn't Ustream a Yahoo thing now? If I'm going to move streaming off of YouTube, it's going to go to Twitch. That's the only reasonable answer in my opinion, because Twitch set up that whole thing for crafts, you know, the Bob Ross marathon. What was I talking about? Now I just went in 3 directions at the same time. All right. Yeah, I have completely lost the plot here. Jang's video came off somewhat fear-mongering. I think, well, I don't think it was about lying back and giving up. I think it was about having some realism. Are you going to actually decide to have a fight with the Federal Trade Commission or not, is the question. When I thought it was just YouTube, I was like, no, we'll have fights with YouTube, because eventually that can work out if you have a certain amount of clout. I'm right on the cusp of, like, having an email address where I can go, like, hey, there's something going on here. You can't fight the FTC that way, though. So when Jang's video was a little bit dire, I think that was coming from a much smarter place, especially given that I'm assuming he's an American. Non-Americans, I think we have, like, a small window of I don't actually understand what happens if the FTC wants to send a fine to someone internationally. However, YouTube has tandem actions with that includes nuking a channel, and I feel like if I were to do my original idea of, like, well, just mark it all as not for kids and say this is aimed at adult collector audience, I feel like that would just end up with this channel getting deleted, which I would like to not happen, because I like all the videos being up here where I don't have to re-encode and re-upload all of them to some other platform that probably doesn't exist. So, I would just say, err on the side of caution, and you're not lying back and giving up, you're fighting a smarter fight. YouTube, even if they wipe all your functions, you can still put videos on here, and you can share them elsewhere. That is where to focus a combative, attitude. Wanting to, like, fight them, and also I'm gonna use the analytics, and I'm gonna grow the channel. I think that's, what do you call it? There's a bunch of words that jump to mind. I think that's all a little bit too rude. But I think that is trying to pick a fight that is really attractive in your head now, as opposed to later, if that makes any sense. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I do. I'm gonna do a whole video about this, so I don't want to get onto that whole rant. But I think it's mostly, like, just protect yourself, especially if you're an American. I think you need to take this 100 times more seriously. Like, just make sure you check in with your buddies who might have videos up, just so they're aware of what's going on. Like, it's been cleared up, I feel like, that it's not going to be like a $40,000 fine to someone with 800 views on a video from 2008, but they could still get a scary email, and, like, you know, I think it's better to not get a scary email from the FTC if you live in America. Anyway, there's no real happy answers so much as, like, just become a puckish rogue like me, and enjoy the fact that, like, the one thing I'm kind of into is, like, no longer would I ever have to think of what do you call it? Ooh, I better make sure I maximize the use of these figures so we can spread their coverage out and get maximum hits. No, I'll just, if I don't feel like doing individual videos, I'll just pile a bunch of them into a video, and we'll just do that. And I should just do that anyway. There's just a bunch of sparks fired off in my head over the last 2 weeks. That this, you know, kind of felt not I hate to use the word inspiring in this situation, because there are folks who I think are getting much more screwed over by this than me. I feel terrible for Thu, because he quit his job and moved into... He quit his job on the basis that he was, at that time, getting a living income off of the combination of this and Patreon, and I can't remember if there was freelance work involved as well. Anyway, I had an analogy for this. I was on the phone with my mom the other day, telling her what's up, and it's kind of like it's kind of like if you have, based on, at the time, solid information, decided to make a move that made sense, as opposed to in regards to how you acquire your income, and then all of a sudden the source of that income pulls you into an office and says, hey, you've been doing a lot of hard work and you've been doing a real good job, but it's wrong now. So then they, like, tear the sleeves off your jacket, remove, like, most of your clothes, throw you into a dingy office, and then say, now get back to work, and also if you screw up, you're dead. That's a bit of a hyperbole, obviously, but there's a certain order of operations here that I feel is a justifiable sense of betrayal on the part of a number of folks. Theo's just the one who jumps to mind immediately because of how it's in the last year that he made this move that I was like very envious of, and I think that folks in his position are getting screwed the hardest. Like in my case, at least I can say this was always supplemental income. It was kind of regular supplemental income when I could get like videos to happen more often, and I always liked that being there. And that's not necessarily going away because I just have to push other means harder. Speaking of which, I should mention, I got 2 emails like in the last week. What timing? This one doesn't matter as much because we don't really use Super Chat here anyway, but now there are super stickers, whatever those are. But also they said you're now activated to have, channel membership, which hasn't turned on yet because they have to approve whatever I put in there. But I basically duplicated my Patreon stuff and set that up on the YouTube side channel membership. I don't know if that stays there if they kid channel castrate the functions of what I have going on here, but that might turn on at some point if that is of interest to anybody. Super Chat is a thing where you can like tip someone some bucks and have your chat message pop up with a big colorful thing around it. Super Stickers appears to be that, except instead of a chat message, it is a sticker. I don't know how that's attractive to anybody, but they said that it's on. And I went to look in my settings, and it wasn't a thing I then had to flip on. It was like, no, don't worry, creator, it's already active. Your community will be excited to unleash these fun and exciting stickers. Are they copying Twitch? I don't know. I don't know. Trigger Bear Swag, for Gundam model kits, I've built a few, but I really don't have a comprehensive knowledge of, like, the best stuff. I would just say off the top of my head, it sounds like generally the Build Fighters kits from those, like, 3 series of Build Fighters have been solid? As far as I've been told, any RG, real grade that's come out in the last couple of years are probably pretty good. Tyler Norris just said an HG RX-78, like, those are always, a thing. I would just say, like, don't, whatever you do, right? Buy a Gundam kit, and then don't be me and everyone else. Buy it, and then build it before you buy another one. It's so much healthier if you build it before you buy another one. You'll probably buy a whole bunch anyway. No matter what you do, you end up with a pile of unbuilt kits. Even if you don't buy Gundam kits, you'll open a closet one day and there'll be like a whole bunch of them sitting there. Arbitrary Hero feels personally attacked by that. Don't worry, I'm attacking me too. I still have some 00 kits from when 00 was new when I was in Japan when it was new, and they were like 800 yen there. They're not even, I think I brought them here finally, but they're in my storage unit. Fun to Building says Delong is such a good resource. Yeah, there are a lot of resources to look up Gundam kits. I found having friends who are into Gundam kits, I'm waving my hands just so that you can tell something's happening. It's kind of a dumb YouTube thing. Having friends who are into Gundam kits who can sort of speak to you on your own terms, like in my case, I need to know that when it's built, I can mess with it a whole bunch. That helps a lot, because then you can kind of you can start to pare down, through all the reviews you might read of their Slayer suit might be one of them. You can pare down and figure out, like, okay, what do I want to actually get that I might actually build and enjoy sometime. J Like Clockwork, have I built the Furai TFs? I have 2 of those kits. I haven't built them yet. I'm probably going to build them soon. I'm not going to stream building them. I just want to have fun building them. And I have, what is it I have? I have IDW Megatron, and I have the first Nemesis Prime. The Nemesis Prime version of the first Optimus attack mode that they did. Oh man, I'm trying to keep up with talking a whole bunch. There's a bunch of people in here. What is it? Why are there a bunch of people in here? Is it like Friday night or something? I need to have a sip of this non-branded aperitif. Oh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a libation. Yes. Not for kids. Should you panel line Transformers, or would that ruin collector value? Honestly, I don't know. If you panel line them well, you could probably sell them for more. But at the end of the day, like, I would personally not worry about collector value. My question would be, when are you going to sell them, and why do you think you'll sell them? And if it's that you'll get tired of them down the road, by that point it probably isn't going to matter. what condition they're in, as long as they're not physically busted in half. In fact, I think it's easier to sell Transformers that are just loose in Ziploc bags for $15. They'll just move. And if you really need cash, what matters is that they move, in my opinion. We got a lot of Gundam recommendations coming in on the chat, by the way, so hopefully that's helping folks who are watching live. There should be chat replay on this, because I never turned that off. So hopefully that is helpful to folks, too. What's this? How'd this get there? Ooh. I feel like I left a few topics behind while I was jumping from topic to topic. So let me know if I did that. I'm a little scatterbrained. I had a client piece I was working on, which went live that you might have seen, and I was I got way out of sleep schedule whack working on that. Arbitrary Hero, does sealed practice mean you'll be at PAX? Yes, I will be at PAX Unplugged. I will be at the Energon Open, and I'm gonna at least play a game there. I qualified, so I'll be in the main tournament. And if I am in a position where I should drop, I'm probably just going to keep playing anyway, because there's nothing else at PAX Unplugged I'm, like, really hyped to do, so I'd rather just get maximum gameplay. Even though, like, there's obviously a point where mathematically, if you just want to drop because you know you won't get to the next round, you can just drop. I'll probably be the doofus who sticks around. Because Friday is going to be when I managed to get a media pass. So Friday is going to be when I go around, actually check out what's there, try to do 1 or 2 interviews with people that I think are interesting. Saturday is going to be Energon Invitational. Sunday is going to mostly be, if I get cut, watching the Final 8 and talking to folks about that as it's happening. I missed a whole bunch while I was talking about that. Turtle Tank misses building Zoids. Best answer for that, get more Zoids. Ooh, yeah. Jail like Clockwork, what's the best and cheap classic Gundam? The red, white, and yellow dude with the shield. That's the RX-78. That's what to look up. Someone said the HG is a good one. The real grade RG of it, as far as I know, is very good, too. Trigger Bear Swag. I want to keep my Transformers in very good condition because some of their prices raised are ridiculous. Numbers, for example, RID 2015 Fix-It Legion class. For sure. It's just, don't try to be predictive about it. Like, Fix-It, for instance, I think the reason he became valuable is because after they stopped making RID 2015, it became, like, noticeable that the Legends Fix-It was the only good Fix-It figure they were going to do that was small. But no one knew that till it was too late. So, trying to predict that stuff, I think is just very hard, and focus on buying what you like. I agree with trying to keep stuff in a saleable condition. Like, I try to do that, even though I keep a lot of stuff just in, like, storage bins. But I put them in the storage bins nicely. You know, if I'm putting this guy in the storage bin, I'm not going to chuck Megatron on top of him. I'm going to very nicely lay him down. Well, I want to get them down so they're flat, right? So we'll you know, put them down so they form a nice flat bed, like this. And in that way, right, if the storage bin gets jostled at all, then they're not like banging together. They're nice. They're locked together in a certain degree with other figures, you know, in around them, and then it's just sensible this way. You know, this way you don't have to worry about now they're a full locked mass. So now in a storage unit, for instance, in a storage bin, as long as you don't throw the bin down a staircase, these guys will be fine. They're okay to jostle a little bit. Sorry, I missed some of the chat while I was demonstrating that. Engineer Hoist, the Toy Hacks Omega Supreme video was epic, well done. That was a pretty cool video. I think that was a pretty cool video. Have I built any G-Spot Haibaku robot kits? I have not. I think the Hyakushiki looked neat to me until I realized that thing was gold chromed on the sprue, and then something in my brain doesn't like the idea of snipping parts off a sprue that are already chromed. Wookieemart, what do I think of Nightbird and the Off-Road Patrol? It sounds like they're scary. I just pulled, finally, out of this pool that I was doing for this practice sealed, I pulled my 3rd 4-wheel drive, so I feel like I can start playing around with the Off-Road Patrol. So I gotta give that a try. Tyler Norris, again, recommends the HGUC. RX-78-2 Revive goes for 10 to 15 bucks. That is the classic Gundam with the shield. HGUC, as far as I know, especially, like, you know, no, in general, isn't it? HGUC is generally pretty good Gundam. So that's a place to look. Picky Peeves, do you have any tips for deck building in this game? I don't have much synergy between my characters. I need to see I kind of need to see your characters, but there's often synergy kind of hidden in there. if you can't find direct synergy between characters, just figure out, like, okay, who has similar goals? Like, do you have a bunch of characters who all have an inherent bold somewhere in there? Then they're probably all going to be cool for, like, a kind of basic orange pip aggro deck, for instance. Or a couple guys with bold, and then one who just has a big attack value. Aggro decks are, like, kind of the most straightforward deck to build. It's just get a lot of orange pips in there, at least 26 to 28. Try to have 6 or 7 white pips, and then just try playing, you know, a kill-em-all playstyle, and then you'll start to feel more comfortable with that, and then you might start to see other synergies as you go. Like starting with orange aggro, I think is a great place to get used to the gameplay, because it's a very straightforward playstyle. There's probably some Firecon decks you could look up. They're not going to be, like, top tier, but, like, the Firecons were built to be beginner orange aggro with rewards for playing lots of orange. So that might be a place to look into. I don't know why all of you are suddenly... I'm sorry, I'm scrolling. I've been going down the chat. Suddenly everyone's talking about... You're all saying, Someone typed 69. That must be part of a password. Don't type that in the chat. Oh, no, not for children. Are you guys all watching something that I'm... Did someone post a link in here that I missed? Fun to building. Tragedy struck your animated leader Megatron recently. His wings snapped clean off. That is a shame. I'm sorry to hear that. Devoid F's in the chat. I don't know what you guys... Are you guys watching... Did someone under the table share a link to pornography? Arbitrary Hero. If I win the Energon Invitational, who do I make as a card? Sir! What kind of question is that? There's only one answer! Omega Supreme, obviously. Any answer to that question that is not an Action Master Elite is the wrong answer. I'm just laying it out there. The Hyakushikis are undergating. Right, undergating is a thing. Oh, now you're all yelling about my toys. I understand it is PG-13 to talk about something as mature as storage of your hobby possessions, and I should have disclaimed that, but if a kid hears about this is going to save their childhood toys when they get older. Master Grade 2.0, Hyakushiki is undergated, no nub worries. Good to know. HUC is pretty solid if unexciting. Okay, so the recommendations got to who needed to hear it. Okay. Master Grades, I kind of avoid Master Grades because they're so big, but, like, they are tempting. Like, they're really cool, but modern high grades and real grades seem like a really solid place to go, too. I missed a lot of chat. You guys must still be chatting. I'm gonna scroll ahead a little bit fast, okay? I'm gonna skip past some stuff, so I apologize. No, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna skip past some stuff. I'm scrolling to the bottom. I missed about 5 minutes of stuff. Perfect grades are too big. It also helps if you lube them up before you store them. Yes, Riley. If you have small storage containers, just a little touch, just a little smidge of some kind of lubricant. Generally, okay, let's talk about Optimus Prime for a second. Leader of the Autobots. If you're putting him into storage, right, where would you put the lube, right? Now, I know a lot of you are saying, like, I'd put it on his arms. I'd put him on his feet. No. You want to put the lube right on the tip here of these, these things. You want to put the lube right in here because these are something that could get caught on something, embarrassingly. If you put the lube right here, get it into that little crevice right there, and then just, like, work it in, then this is going to be able to glide seamlessly into the storage unit of choice. Another pro tip for all of you. I missed a whole bunch of stuff again. 5-wide orange black's going to be a thing, especially with Nightbird. Orange black, I think, is really going to be a thing. I think it's going to be a thing. I mentioned McFarlane. Have I seen the Mortal Kombat 11 Scorpion? He doesn't have the shocked eyebrows like the pro... Mortal Kombat 11 Scorpion! I was walking around today, and I went to EB, and I found this figure who is named Age 14 Plus. But I didn't actually take a look at the eyebrows yet. You're right, those eyebrows look way better. Now here's the question. Black Hawk Omega, did you just cause this to appear behind me? Or did I have it all along? I wonder. Okay, you guys are talking about 01. It's a good show. Silicone shock oil is the Transformers lube of choice, absolutely. Any good third-party cassette boss that are masterpiece style, like KFC? I really like the Ocular Max cassettes, the remix Ocular Max cassettes. They do not fit into Soundwave, but other than that, I really like them. And when it came out that Alex Kubalski had worked on them, I was like, well, that explains a whole lot of why I like them, because I love how they transform. And Alex K understands transformation. That's why I'm hyped for that Ocular Max Bruticus. I haven't got any parts of him yet, but still hyped for him. So I would recommend. Also, I think that those Ocular Max cassettes, sometimes you can find regret sales of them for like a decent price. The KFC cassettes are fun. I have most of them. The only problem with them is that their build quality, the word for it is that it sucks for the most part. Usually when you get a KFC cassette, you need to be ready to fix something, and you probably want to know how to use a pin vise to insert a brass rod into a ball socket joint stem, because a common thing with those cassettes is the ball on the stem might just twist itself off. So if you drill a brass rod chasm in and stick a brass rod in with some super glue, you can basically put a spinal cord into that ball socket connection. It's one of those, like, if you're okay to fix broken toys, the KFC cassettes are pretty fun. And I honestly don't mean that as like as much of a dig as it sounds like, because I like the combiner cassettes they did. They are just not made very well. You have to be ready to fix them. Fred Bob, do I have the cel-shaded Siege figures, or do I did pick them up recently in this free box I got from Hasbro, where they were one of the contents. I just filmed opening the box, so I haven't opened them yet, but they look very cool. And the first thing I'm going to do after I film them in packaging for B-roll is figure out if Megatron's neck feels any better. I don't want to step in on the discussion of Orange Black, because then I'll get on another topic. The NECA Toon Turtles, yeah, I mean, I've seen some NECA stuff kicking around. It's neat. I just, for very personal reasons, I've given up on NECA, because they blocked a friend of mine on Twitter, and I think that was a really lousy thing to do, in the context they did it. So they lost me! But that's also highly myself. A lot of their figures seem fine. There's nothing wrong with buying their stuff. I just won't, ever, myself. Surely there must be an oversized Masterpiece Soundwave knockoff that can fit a standard compact cassette. I would be so down. The Mega, what is that line? It's the licensed third-party line that did an Optimus and a Megatron. It had a Soundwave with a Laserbeak coming out, and the Laserbeak actually turned into a normal-sized cassette. That one might be able to do it. Favorite Soundwave mold? Probably Siege Soundwave, actually. I like him the most. I like his alt mode a lot. There, I said it. Alright, that's some deck tech, but I missed the context. Ed Braun, I don't have a back door. Whose house did you break into? You get out of there. You don't know. That might be a criminal. Man, this chat just keeps moving. What is this, Friday night? Yes, Wave Sign. The Ocular Max ones are the size of normal cassettes. Action Figure Expert, hello, what's up, what's going on, how are you? I was doing, the title of the stream related to doing some of this, but I finished this in like half an hour, and now we're just streaming, so whatever, you know, who's gonna go call this, the streaming, the streaming, standards practices police? Who's the narc? Who's gonna narc? Alright, and if you identify yourself, snitches get, yeah, I love the Siege spaceship alt modes. The Siege Shockwave, Soundwave, and, like, 6 reflectors as a fleet, like, coming over the horizon of some poor planet, I think is an amazing visual. Best Ratchet mold. MP Ratchet's pretty good. I haven't messed with the New Age one yet. Oh my god, I apologize for how lagged I am here. Okay, someone's saying they're the narc. That's gotta be fairly recent. Oh, there we go. I caught up. Have I been watching Beastars? I have not. I have not watched any anime in a while. Thoughts on the third-party Revenge of the Fallen Devastator figures that one company's doing? They look neat, but until I know how they, like, until I know the hand feel, I'm just gonna spectate them. What era of Transformers would you like Hashtag to focus on if they run out of G1 designs to remake? I'll be dead by then, so sorry, I won't be dead by then. The sun will have gone supernova, so I'll have moved to another planet by then. I'm not sure if we'll have Transformers on the New World, but I'll try to make sure they come with us. Prid Ratchet was pretty cool. That's the one that... Oh, no, Prid Ratchet was the one I put repro labels onto. That figure is very cool. He's a little bit weird. It's hard to explain why. The angles are weird. But he's pretty cool. Wookie Mart, witnessed someone pull Octone and Galactic Prime in the same box today. I've heard about 2 super rare boxes. That's a thing. Ed Braun, thank you very much for the kind words that you said at 11:14 p.m. Thank you, Trigger Bear Swag, for agreeing with them. I don't know how lagged I am again, so hopefully that... Oh, here we go. Wave Sign. The Shinkansen Mecha anime from a couple years ago was pretty good. Is that Shinkalion? At the toy show, someone gave me a Shinkalion toy. It's one of the... It's those 3 that all combine together, and they can all form limbs or the torso. I got handed one of those, and if you're in the chat... I actually have no idea if you're in the chat. Then say hello. But it was a cool figure to mess with. I think it's probably too hard to track down the other 2. But that show looked cool. I saw the Eva and the Hatsune Miku crossovers they did in that show. It looked really fun. Have I bought our Lord and Savior Black Arachnia Masterpiece? I have not yet. I heard Beastars was good. Beastars and Promare are both on my list of things to not forget about. Thoughts on third-party Planet X Transformers? I have a couple that are really cool, and then I heard their Megatron was not built well, but then I heard their Starsaber was built well, and that's kind of as far as I've got. At the end of the day, they're one of those companies where it's like, I love their stuff, but I can't afford everything. So I have to spectate some things to pick up the stuff that I'm into the most. Catching up still. What do I think of Minecraft, and do I play it? Also, you're not lagging. This is the current chat. Oh, is it? Is it the current chat now that I'm reading what you said then when you said that was then the current chat? I don't know anymore. I've actually never played Minecraft. Nothing against it, but after a certain period of time, I was like, I'll just preserve myself as one of the few people who have never touched Minecraft. I love the idea of it. Hatsune Miku did some good work making that game. Cameron Edishami, FTC put out a blog post that puts the COPPA effect on YouTube channels in a much less stressful light. I appreciate that. I'll take a look at it. If you send me the link, like DM it to me or something. I still am going to err on the side of caution, though, because between the FTC and YouTube, primarily because of YouTube's involvement as a foot soldier, I still suspect there's going to be a lot of mistakes where I would rather err on the side of caution for the sake of not losing the entire channel. Beastars is weird. Well, I'm down with weird. RG1 Studios, which rare character of Siege 2 do you find yourself pulling the most? I have pulled Private Hot Rod 3 times after trading for him once. So he's getting up there. Siege 1, I pulled General Optimus Prime nearly 10 times. Hot Rod is looking to be that for me in Siege 2. That is Studio Series Long Haul. It's not a man pile. This is a storage unit, a storage bin compliance pile. You see, if you lock everyone together in a position like this, then you can make sure that they don't get banged up when they're in a storage bin, and you won't have paint scratches because they're all locked together in this position. Nope, the chat just skipped right ahead. My apologies, everyone. So I skipped over a few things. I apologize. Go see The Lighthouse. Is in Man 2. I want to see The Lighthouse. I want to see The Lighthouse. I'm probably going to wait till I can catch it digitally, unless it's already there. But I definitely want to see The Lighthouse. Ed Braun, what's my second favorite hobby after toys? Tokusatsu, probably. Somewhere between Tokusatsu and the idea of filmmaking and videography and editing. Like, those are all... I mean, I'm crossing a hobby with work there, I guess. Miniature painting is something that I want to do more. I like doing miniatures painting, and then I always get myself too, like, worked up about doing it right, and that's really dumb to do, because I just have fun when I sit down and do it. So that's another one for me. FTC actively wants to learn. One of the people championing the fight is a lawyer who is cited. Yeah, the YouTube lawyers who have gotten involved that I've seen so far are doing some good work, and I'm happy that we have LawTube, because that seems to be a thing that is coming into play here for the better. In that, also, one of them that I really enjoyed, the video I watched that I shared, I think, on Twitter, they did caution, like, to err on the side of supreme caution, and I appreciate hearing that from a voice of authority. And when I say err on the side of supreme caution, that is right now, with the idea that nothing has changed. Obviously, this will get tweaked to some degree. I would rather adjust for the tweaks after they happen, rather than predict and hope that they happen before the fact, if that makes any sense. Any tips for a Supreme deck? Yes, the thing I noticed playing Supreme, I built a real dumbass just blue deck that was not very good, and when he combined, I was getting close games. So build for at least about half blue. You don't have to go like full ass blue, because you need to be able to kill stuff when he combines. But blue with a bit of card draw and like here's your two focuses with a Mega Supreme, the combiner one. Card draw helps, direct damage helps. That's my focuses right now. Earthrise. Hoi Fan, when are you going to make Vangel's reviews for the Transformers TCG? I've been filming a bunch of footage for it, and I've been writing it since a year ago, and it keeps growing, so I'm going to figure something out. It's going to turn into just a year one retrospective, I think. So Silverlink, what I'll say about creating fear and hysteria, because I'm guessing I'm riding that line, I feel like what I'm saying is hard caution. I think the fear and hysteria comes from folks like, what's his name, Boogie or whatever. I saw a thumbnail where it was like, the FTC is killing YouTube. Those kind of sentiments are garbage. They're coming from a place of panic, absolutely, but most of the time, that's a sentiment I had for like 5 minutes. And to see thumbnails saying that, it's getting that into people's heads. I've seen comment sections where people are talking about the FTC coming for YouTube, and that's the stuff that I would say is the true fear and hysteria for the negative. That's why I'm happy the number of people who are immediately stepping forward, even in this chat, to say, FYI, it is YouTube that people should be mad at, not the FTC, because I agree with that. Your character roster so far, Picky Peeves. You've got, from Wave 1, Starter Set, Ransack, Bombshell, Screamer and Flame War, Wave 2, Dreadwind, Wave 4, Hyperdrive, Tailwind, Barricade, Jetfire. So Dreadwind is something you could build for, because Dreadwind is 8 plus 8, he's 16, right? So you got 9 stars left. Dreadwind, with the idea, if you build Dreadwind with a bit of card draw and a lot of upgrades, that's a thing. Flame War from Wave 1 fits into borderline any deck ever made if you don't know who else to put in there. She is hyper versatile 5 stars. So Dreadwind might be a thing, I'd say. Flame War might be a thing. If you've got Wave 4 Jetfire, he's 16 stars. He's a deck. Wookiee Bart Wedge Formation is great for a Mega Supreme. Hopefully that'll help to make a construct. Game of Thrones license stuff looks cool. I've seen those at EB. Those things look pretty neat. Zimman, the lawyer one, he has I got put off by the voice, but his points made enough sense that I was okay with the video. I was kind of hoping someone who's got more of a legal vocal candor would get into that stuff, but the info was solid. I was worried with that morning radio voice he was doing that he was going to start going like, the doom is now, but I felt like his information was pretty solid. This might be late, but see you later, Trigger Bear Swag. Says you're heading out. Turtle Tank, how do fembots go in a box? All bots go in a box like this, in one interlocked mass. All right, I'm way behind. Fred Bob, any tips on changing college degrees? So I started university doing computer science, and I spent 10 years doing stuff that wasn't computer science that I was trying to tack on to a computer science degree, while constantly applying to try to get switched to a mixed degree, because I didn't want to waste the stuff I'd done in computer science. My perspective is a little bit regretful, but I would say if you just don't feel good about it, and you don't feel like you can finish it, then change it sooner than later. Because the longer you take, the more the regrets will build up, in my opinion. It's really the thing to assess, right? Is if you no longer feel like you're passionate about the degree, can you finish off the rest of it? And if you've got like 2.5 years left of it, and it feels like that's going to be hell, and you feel like your attention won't be into it, your passion won't be into it, you won't be able to just grind your way through it, then you probably should just change as soon as possible. In my opinion, I am not someone who can give like the best advice on that. It took me way too long, in my opinion. Every time I say that, people tell me it didn't take way too long. So I probably have a semblance of self-loathing in that tone when I talk about myself. But I would just say, if you're really not feeling into it and you don't feel like you can get through it, just do it right away. You know, go for it. At the end of the day, all that matters is you have a degree. That's the thing that's become clear to me, at least. With my own perspective, I should say. Not fact, just my own perspective. Is that as long as you finish something, that's what matters. It doesn't matter what the something is. Does the TCG have any army builders yet? No, but back during Wave 1, Drew Nolosco, the brand manager of the TCG, was asking a lot of people who were meeting up with him at Gen Con, I believe, or Origins, what they would like to see Sharkticons do. Would they want an army builder Sharkticon, or would they want unique named Sharkticons? I feel like he wouldn't be asking that for no reason. Oh, Picky Peeves, you don't have Blackwing. Okay. I always mix up how their names combine. So yeah, if you don't have Blackwing, maybe write that one off. Do something with Flame War. That'll help you out right away, because she's very straightforward, and she can support a very defensive deck or a very offensive deck. Okay, there's something new about Focus. You can't stack it. It happens as separate instances. That makes sense to me, I guess. I mean, it's weird that would be the one thing that doesn't stack, I guess. I'm saying I guess a lot. But if Focus 1 if Focus 1 and Focus 1 means you do Focus 1, then Focus 1, I guess it makes sense. I guess they don't want you to tunnel down too far without natural Focus 2. Where did was that in the rules roundup? That's news to me. I don't know. I missed something today. All right, Fred Bob. I hope that helped. Like talk. I don't know your relationship with your family or your friends, but the people in your life who you trust the most, or not even trust the most, but the people who you respect the most and who have your best interests in mind, talk to them as well. That's what I would recommend. I am fortunate in that, for the most part, my family just wants me to be successful and happy. So at a certain point, like I had support switching straight up to just coming to Toronto and going to a film school, basically. But I was very lucky in that scenario. In that not scenario, but in this context, I am very fortunate in that I don't have the kind of family where you cut parts of them off to make your life more survivable, I guess, is the way to put it. I am excited for Shoto Blade. I'm excited for Shoto anything. Ronnie Lane, yeah, I've been around. I think I've said this on streams here and there, but basically, like, I've been up and down through some real unpleasant stuff in my head, and the YouTube channel slowly suffered the worst for it. Basically, I'm always thinking about toy reviews, and I'm always filming packaging, and I'm always writing 10% of a script. So I understand that outwardly it appears like I just haven't been here, but it's been active in my mind the whole time. Which means whenever the muck in my head clears out, there'll be a flood. Commander Matt, I don't know what just happened, but did Vangelis just give me college advice? Like I said, it's going to be for your life primarily, but in my very limited and very, I think at times, misguided experience, one of the things that felt very solid afterwards is that all that matters is you finish something, and if you feel like your dislike of a program will be so heavy that you can't even finish it, then you should move away from that program, or it's just going to become a massive money expenditure, especially if you're just fully on a student loan. That loan needs to matter for something, because the system is designed to... There's a lot about the North American systems that is designed to just keep you in perpetual debt, and that in and of itself is terrible, but as long as that debt remotely means something, that's the important thing. And in my limited experience, no one cares if your degree is for computer science or fine arts or biology or pathology or sociology. It's just that you finish something. That's all that will really matter. That and being able to do an interview are the two things that matter. In my very limited experience. Arbitrary Hero says Jetfire plus Flame War plus a 4-star bot would be a good start as a deck. I agree. If you've been buying any Siege, you probably have a 4-star Micromaster. If you don't, and there are any players near you, they are criminals if they don't just hand you one that you don't have. Anyone who's bought boxes will know what I'm talking about. Safeguard also does not stack. Okay. Okay, yeah, Focus 3 would be busted with a number of things. Focus 3 would be calamitous with Overwhelming Advantage, I feel like. Because I built a Shockwave deck for Overwhelming Advantage. It's similar to Stefan's deck, and I goldfished it, and the first time I goldfished it, I was able to fire off the 15 direct damage halfway through the second cycle. So I feel like Focus 3 would make that deck abusive. Ondoru in Shoto form, hell yeah. Sega Spammer, you might wait till Sharkticons or a Troop Builder because you're a Magic player, you tend to run weenie decks. This might attract you. The Micromasters, as of the second Siege Wave, all the Micromaster Patrols now exist, and they are designed to be decks. All 4 characters are commons, and the 4 characters leave you room for a larger 5th character who's 7 stars. So, I would say if you want to play this game right now, it's very easy to get the characters you'd need, and it would be basically this game's version of a 1/1 weenie deck. Basically, the Micromasters... Here, I'll show you one. So, the Patrols fully exist, right? You get 3 members, where they're this on this side, they're stealth when untapped in alt mode, and then they have a tap effect, which is a clone of a battle card somewhere in the game. The 4th member has a Lord effect over here when they're in this mode, where all members of this patrol, including themselves, get some kind of effect. And then when the Lord flips over, they have +1/+1 for every patrol member in the KO pile. So, you might enjoy playing the Micromaster Patrols. Wookie Mark's just been telling me that the Truck Patrol is really kicking some ass over in Hamilton. So, might want to look into that, I would recommend. I missed some chat. I'm just going to scroll up a little bit to catch up. Commander Matt, this college conversation and following my Twitter has reassured you that... Oh, well, thank you. That's very helpful to hear. Thank you very much. It's very kind. Hoifon, why am I packing my Transformers traveling again? No, I generally keep a lot of my figures in storage bins because that's just... I prefer messing with them. I don't really care a lot about having them on display. So I tend to storage bin stuff and just have a couple things chilling out on shelves. So I have a lot of stackable storage experience. And I missed a whole bunch of stuff here. Ronnie Lane, as someone who didn't go for a degree he was passionate about, a second evangelist advice. I have a government degree, and I have regretted not just going for the impractical English degree. I would say, okay, I kind of agree, but please don't regret the government degree that you have, because you have it, and that's something. That's still really impressive. That's still respectable, especially if your passion wasn't there, and you still finished it, and you have the piece of paper. That's still laudable. That's I'm just gonna start repeating myself, but that's worth congratulations, in my opinion. What are the chances we could get a mini-bot deck? I just need my precious boy, Power Glide. Oh, how many mini-bots are in the game? We got 1 million Bumblebees. Technically. Hang on, I need a drink. The Beehive deck. You can make a deck that's entirely Bumblebees. That's technically a mini-bots deck, right? Right? Commander Matt, any thoughts on COPPA? I shared a whole bunch already, I'm afraid. I'm going to try to avoid going on that tangent too much more, because I'm planning to do a full talky video about it, just so there's something on the channel that says what the plan is for the channel. So I'm going to try to film that once I get some progress done on the Siege Optimus video. Okay, I'm back at the bottom. Rip, sorry, I understand. I guess that's now. I guess that's... Is it 11:33? I don't even know. Okay, it is. Okay, so we caught up. I caught up! Oh my god! This is why sometimes I'm like, maybe I should stay away from Twitch. Because if I fall into the streamer pattern, my inability to stop talking when I'm streaming might physically kill me if I fall into a streaming schedule. Yeah, Cliff Jumper was a mini bot. Just go get a Cliff Jumper. It's simple. That's a joke for everyone. But there's also enough Bumblebees. You could do a bee. There's a couple Beehive decks, and there is a Bumblebee card, Agility of Bumblebee, which I was looking at it again. I was joking about it being in the Energon edition, but I was looking at it again, and I'm like, one of the things I think that I've learned about this game as waves went on is that card draw got more and more powerful, and that's a card draw card. I don't know. Commander Matt, do you want to bother with the 35th anniversary cel-shaded one, or just wait for Earthrise? I mean, they are gonna. It sounds like Earthrise has a lot different about him as a toy. So if that, like, that's kind of my focus. So I'd say, like, if you think that the Siege one looks cool, hang on, I got it. I still have to film the packaging. My apologies. But if you think that, like, this looks cool, and you can get it for a price that you feel okay about, like, go for it. The thing about the Earthrise one is you're going to be paying for the trailer as well. So, which I am personally okay with the idea of the price points no longer meaning physical size, but just, you know, bear that in mind too. And the Earthrise one, like, there's a video out if you want to see how it works. Personally, I'm just gonna wait. I heard enough about it, so I'm just gonna wait and see how it works once I pick one up myself, because I think it looks cool. But yeah, like, I don't know. This is the way my brain works. I consider them to be separate toys, so they're, even though they're both Optimus, I think of them as completely different collectible objects. We need a Bruticus deck. Here's what I want. I want Bruticus to be a mercenary combiner. That's what I would like. Yes. I should probably halt the stream sometime in the next 10 or 15, so as I can go work on some stuff. But I'll chill out a little bit longer. What else can I do? What else can I do? What can I do that is to my own personal benefit of cleanliness? I can clean up this pile. That's what I can do. You get over here. Organize this for the sake of what is to come. Whoa! Dude just span around on his own. That's freaky. There's a ghost in here. So you, I gotta film you next. Ugh. For these Siege dudes, I'm doing robot mode first, because I figured that that's the path out of packaging, and it seems like a lot of folks get excited about that. In my case, it's just a way to switch some stuff up for a bit. I might stop doing that, but for Siege Optimus, I did the robot mode first. What else do I still want to do, even though it seems unrealistic? I still want to do overviews for a couple lines. I don't know, I just like the idea of filming those. The only thing that makes me, like, put them off is getting all the figures out onto the thing, all the setup of, like, having a bunch of stuff on here. I still want to do those sometime. I might do them later on, you know. This is always how I like to try to indoctrinate people who are watching a stream. Y'all, join me and spread the word that there's no such thing as a late review. Because what's the point? Like, who cares when something's reviewed? It's still thoughts on something. If it's meant to be buying advice, currently, whatever that YouTube channel is, whose name I always forget, who just put out the Earthrise video, like, if you need immediate buying advice, they're going to have a video out ASAP. Why rush to try to meet that horizon when I could just do what I want? That's kind of my outlook on YouTube in general, but I'm trying to be a lot more outspoken about it, which is just I want to do what I want, and that's what needs to be the priority. I missed a bunch of chat while I was self-aggrandizing. Ronnie Lane says that those cel-shaded guys are the most extensive and gorgeous paint apps I've ever seen. I am astonished that stuff was done on mass production. Like, it blows my mind. It makes me really excited that that's something that's reasonable to do in future, I hope. I would love to see that done on... I mean, it's kind of boring to say, but I'd like to see that done on Earthrise Prime. I have lost the context in all the recent chat. I apologize. Sometimes it happens where I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to this point. We're going to talk a whole bunch. I'm going to go look at the chat. And then when the last time I looked at it, it was like Earthrise. I'll go back and now people are talking about Twinferno. And I'm like, I turned 4 pages over at once, and I think it'll be worse if I try to run back and catch up on those 4 pages. I should get this recycling all nicely folded up, ready to go into a bin. That's also, touch on this topic one more time. One of the other things where I feel I feel not panicked about YouTube's upcoming changes is that I'm comfortable just talking about nonsense. I have fun doing that too. I don't feel, like, freaked out doing it. So, like, hey, you know, what if okay, I'm not going to stop doing toy videos, but let's say that somehow, and this won't happen, but somehow toy videos become way too risky to do, which won't happen. I would be completely fine just doing streams where I'm talking about a toy that I'm holding where my face is in the stream for the most part to avoid whatever that nightmare scenario might be. I feel like making media is something that I like doing so much that I'm not going to stop just because a platform becomes harder to use. I have some videos I want to make, like dramatized ones I've been mentally storyboarding, where it's like there's no way I can tweak them to go on YouTube because I want to do licensed music with them because that's just where the mental storyboards went. And I don't want to do the legwork of finding replacement music. I just want to make them, and then I can't put them here, so I might just put them up on Twitter with a watermark. I just want to make stuff that at least a couple people see. That's kind of my primary goal. My secondary goal on YouTube was always it would be cool to get a play button, which seems unlikely now, but you never know. That would still be neat. But other than that, I just want to make stuff and I want it to be seen and enjoyed as much as possible and make people happy. That noise was me reaching over here to do this. Revival of High Price. Unlikely, to be honest. The thing I want to do is I know how I want to finish the Alpha Bravo story, so I'd like to do that. And then I got a half a scene in my head. I just want to do with combinations Megatronia versus Orthea set to Lord of the Lost's Doomsday Disco. I just know how the first half of that little short would look, but I don't know how it would end, and B, I don't know how to film the stuff that I have in my head. It's running into the wall of, like, the way that I film dramatized stuff, which is, like, the nice way you can put it is puppetry. There's this limitations that I'm not sure how to cross yet. I still have to watch, what was it called? Thunderbolt Legacy? Lightning Bolt Story? Thunderbolt Fantasy? That show is the closest thing I've seen to what I like to make. And I need to actually watch the rest of the first season and try to get some inspiration out of that. Oh, Zim man, but these play buttons aren't silver. I'm greedy. I want a big silver one that I can hang on my wall. How many cogs is too many cogs? I'd say 4. Very specifically, is too many. That's like when you see someone who's like, no, I'm an aficionado for cigars, and they're like smoking 15 every day. That's where you're like, hey, you gotta calm down. Phone Braver toy line originally back in 2008. I was going to review all the Phone Braver toys, and then I got way too hung up on storylining all those reviews because of 01, the Phone Braver, and then time passed by, and I didn't do it at all. So someday I might just film normal videos of all of them whenever I'm out west, because I own the entire line, and back in 07, I really liked it. Patreon anyone? I got one. I know other people have them too. Best weaponizer, Brunt. Favorite African animal. I mean, technically, could not any animal be in Africa if you bring it there? Thoughts on Overheat, the card. I'm going to try it out with Shockwave in the sideboard. I think it's a sideboard card, but I feel like I'm so hungry to shut down this one Dinobot deck in the local meta, and I want to overheat. I just want to overheat. I think it's still pretty good. I think the question is, because the thing that Overheat also does is it stops Pierce, and as more decks move towards Black Pips, I think that's also going to be important, because I think a big Black Pips deck is going to want to have Bold for Black Pips. How would I rank the weaponizers from best to worst, and why? How many are there? Wookiee Mark, going to be difficult without a green pip. Not with Shockwave. Shockwave just... Oh, it's on the top. If there's 3 of them in the deck, and your hand size always includes your top card, the math of that, it's way higher to see that thing on top. There's 3 weaponizers. I think Cog's the worst. He's just the hinkiest. I think that 6 Gun's this next one, and I think Brunt's the best. 6 Gun, mostly because with Brunt, I think Brunt is more creative stuff going on. With the legs, turning into a gun. I think it's cute. Something with a lot of cards in Siege Shoes, a lot of them feel sideboard friendly, and you're hesitant to dedicate them to a deck. I think it's kind of like... There's some sideboardable cards where it's kind of like, if it really is the biggest weakness of your deck, put 1 or 2 in, and then have the 2nd or 3rd on the sideboard. Cog's most G1 accurate, kind of suffers for it. I also say just Cog's hand feel, especially on the legs when they connect to the thighs, it just feels the hinkiest of all of the weaponizer connections to me, and I think it's just because he's in Wave 1, really. He has that Wave 1 syndrome of, like, this was one of the first ones we put together. I organized my recycling. Gotta organize my sealed pool. Sega Spammer 64. I have the cogs for my Optimus. They're mostly in trailer mode. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that I'm excited to try doing, I know other people have done it. I don't want to copy anything. I want to try doing it without looking. Is I've got the three weaponizers and I've got the 3 power dashers, and I want to just figure out how I can slap them all together. Turbo Spinach. You just played your 3rd match of Wave 1 a couple weekends back. Yeah, you got some stuff. The game got a little more complicated, but for the better, I think. Silver League, yeah, I don't think that right now a pure mercenary deck is... I don't think it's even meant to be doable. I think you could definitely theme Pierce around them, but I feel like the Mercs are just so... They are built to be 1 or 2 of them in a team with 1 or 2 other people. Yes, Waveside, the Power Dashers who've always been there. Just off screen. Piggy Peeves, you have to get another toy from Siege other than Skytread for your... Hang on, I gotta read that slower. If you had to get another toy from Siege other than Skytread for your Battle Trap, who should you go for? I think Battle Trap would be really good friends with Barricade. They just seem like they go together, I don't know. Astrotrain Nightstick and Sights could become fun. Hoopla was running Sights and Caliburst with Octone, and that is a sometimes terrifying scenario. I'm just gonna organize my sealed pool I made. When I do a Voltron versus Predaking video, I don't know if I don't have passion for Voltron. My passion's, like, for dramatized stuff, my passion's kind of fully Transformers. There was a time when I might have tried doing something with a Voltron, because I had the King of Beast, but I sold that for a lot of money before I filmed it, and felt okay about that. It just felt like busy work, trying to figure out how to say things about a Voltron toy. I don't know. Decent launchers again. You mean spring-loaded launchers? I'm assuming you mean spring-loaded launchers. Those show up sometimes in nostalgia bait Bandai pieces, like in Goken pieces. Like sometimes they're there for more of a kind of a throwback. But when they do put them, some of those Mazinger toys come out and they could kill you. They kill you. Oh, if we're going to talk about actual scale of Go Lion to Transformers, I don't know. I just go off toy scale. Would you do something like a dramatized content with the Constructicons, but as a sitcom? I thought about doing a comedy series with Transformers for a while, and then I couldn't think of any actual... How do you put it? I couldn't think of any dialogue that I was happy about, so I gave up on it. And right now, the main thing I want to do is I want to do the Alpha Bravo story that's in my head, and I want to, because that's one where I feel like I could film it, and if I can get myself not super hung up on doing everything right, then I could actually make it, and that's the only important thing, is making a thing that you're into. Doing it perfectly comes much, much later with some other project. So I want to do that one, because I know how that goes. I just need to figure out how to frame it all so it doesn't take forever. Because, like, yeah, I know what I want that one to be. It's going to be intense, and it's going to be sad. It's going to be inspiring, and everyone's going to cry. That's what I want to do. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I want to do a flashbacky kind of sequence to show when Slingshot died, to set some context, reuse a couple clips as like story so far, and then I guess kind of like I gotta jump context enormously to get to what I want to make. But I just want to make the bit I want to make. I don't think I'm gonna make like a full story. It's gonna be moments again, but yeah, I know the bit I really want to do. Because the problem with me in comedy is I'm not a sketch comedy person. I'm a talking semi improv comedy person, and it doesn't really work very well for YouTube. Fred Bob, if you have a massive crush on Waz, continue watching Zio because you'll get paid off. Otherwise, I'd say it's still worth watching because it is a show that just screamed at me over and over again, isn't Kamen Rider friggin' cool? And I kept just nodding like, hell yeah it is! That's why I love Zio. There was just so much love in that show. It's just like, it's just like every decision they make in that show at the end comes down to, man, I love this part in this one Kamen Rider, and it's like I can tell, I can feel it, and it made me feel so good, made me so happy. Oh, a wave sign, the G2 slingshot. Like, let's imagine, what if there's like parallel universes where, say, there's no Alpha Bravo anymore, then there would be a Superion that has a slingshot in it. And then what if they could meet? And then what if they could never, ever have each other again? And have to live with that. I don't know, that's one of the ideas going through my head. I'm into the idea of a story about the acceptance of the unfair in the context of moving on positively and constructively. Turbo Spinach, best Kamen Rider to get back into after a while you haven't watched since Gaim. Exade was very good, Build was very good, and 01, currently airing, is very good. Gaim was kind of the... Also, I think Drive is very good. I like Drive a lot. Gaim basically was kind of like the starting point of, like, lots of Kamen Riders real good. Basically, just pick one. Anything after Gaim, pick one. Like, even Ghost. I still haven't finished Ghost. I watch, like, about 15 episodes of Ghost a year, and I really enjoy myself, and then I get into watching something else. So probably in the next 6 months, I'll finish Ghost. It's fine. It's not the best Kamen Rider, but people told me I'm watching the best part, so that might be it. But, like, I've been having fun with it. Basically, anything after Gaim, just pick one that you think looks cool. And watch it, and maybe don't watch the movie that was made after it, or the movie that's made during it, if you haven't watched the one before it, because sometimes those movies are partly epilogues, and that could maybe get confusing, but otherwise, like, just pick one. Picky Peeves, try Ultraman Orb. I haven't finished it, but I watched all of Geed, which was pretty fun. And then I watched the first 10 episodes of Orb, and I thought it was way better. So Orb is super worth it, in my opinion, at least. From what I'm told, Orb only gets better. So Ultraman Orb is I think probably a place to go, and that's on. Is that on Crunchyroll still? It's out on Blu-ray. Doesn't matter if it's on Crunchyroll. It's out on Blu-ray now, so you can just get the Blu-ray off Amazon or at Walmart. For Kamen Riders, like same answer really. Just pick one. Or at least pick like 3, and then if you start one and it feels like it's not going well, then come back and go like, this one doesn't seem like it's going well, and then folks can start to tell you like, it gets better, or it's kind of, that's what it is. Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, I think that show is way better than it gets a reputation for. It's absolutely kind of a hinky show, but especially I think Dragon Knight is worth watching. Oh, it's so weird to put this. I was gonna say it's worth watching if you've seen Ryuki because it's very different. I'm also really curious if you just watch Dragon Knight without having seen Ryuki. Dragon Knight got highly screwed by the network. Here's the anecdote that I always remember. We saw the Dragon Knight finale buried in a streaming service, and one of the Wang brothers, who was the show, they ran that whole show, they said, oh, that's what happened to the finale. Because they didn't get told that it wasn't aired. They were like, it never made it to air? They told me it was going to be... It's on streaming? Okay, I guess our show's over. right. I'm starting to slow down a little bit here. It won an Emmy and got sniffed by the network. Yeah, basically. Maybe you meant snuffed, but you know what? No, it got sniffed. That's that's actually a better description of what happened to it. It didn't even get snuffed. Can I do a tour of Toronto? Yeah, it's already on. Go to youtube.com/city of Toronto. That's my YouTube. That's my second channel. I've got some tour material up there. Oh yeah, Silver League, Orb and Jeed are out domestically. At least their movies have been seen at Walmart, but the entire shows are coming out on disc as well. I think. Am I wrong? I think they're coming out. Maybe am I misremembering something? Can I do a tour of Winnipeg? Sure, I'll just point this at a... I'm going to steal Wookie Mart's joke. I'll just point this at a Google Street View of Winnipeg, and I'll take you through Winnipeg. Here's the corner of Main Street in Maine. The Ultraman Blu-ray for Orb is a series and movie. Okay, so there's actually a better answer than what I was saying. Oh, Portage. Maine and Portage. Here's Portage in Maine, as you can see right here on Google Maps. Portage in Maine. And then the famous Winnipeg smoked corned beef sandwiches are found down here in there's a back alley, right, you want to go to. It's right here under the subway system. And you'll want to head up through the main canal, and you'll find it's great. It's called Pelvis's. They make great sandwiches. Daniel Lee, what is this stream? I mean, it says clearly in the title, this is a card games sealed deck practice stream. That's what we're clearly doing. So anyway, the deck, right? Like, you can see the synergy I've got going on. I've got, in my 40 cards, like 25 of them are black pips, but it's the way that they form these tires on the sides of the legs makes for a superstructure that allows the figure to stand solidly. Sorry, what's the chat saying? I missed something here. Yeah, Dragon Knight I watched while it was coming out and people were ripping it off TV. I have no idea where to watch those. No, wait a second. Stephen Ford, main actor of Dragon Knight, on his Twitter at one point, he shared there's a torrent or a mega going around, which is it's rips of the Japanese discs of Dragon Knight, so you get both audio tracks. There is a full download of that, and I forgot if it was a torrent or a mega direct download, but it's out there. It's out there. Oh, and Wavesign said that, well, probably before I said that. Yeah, Subbing Group may or may not have released the full series of Dragon Knight. Yeah, it's out there. Will Evil Camera make a... Sorry, I just saw Will Evil Camera make a comeback, and then I saw I know nothing about Gamera except Heisei Gamera is worth checking out, and I got very confused. You think it was a torrent? Okay, yeah, it probably was a torrent. Probably was a torrent? It might have been both. I don't know anymore. Daniel Lee, how do I connect 4th and Main from that subway station? It's a good question. I'm actually really glad you asked that. I was getting kind of irritated no one was asking that, because 4th and Main... Okay, hang on a second. Let's make sure I get this question right. 4th and Main from... Yeah, it's the subway station, right? You start off down here. You're at 4th and Main. Now, the thing is, you've got to be equipped, right, with a good subway pass. And as long as you get your subway pass to go in, right at 4th and Main, then technically you can connect anywhere. Right? Like, you can get over to Portage, you can get down to Simcoe. If you want to get to Eglinton, it's a long trip, but if you go, just follow the main line, right, eastbound, you'll get to Eglinton, okay? It's a pretty simple thing. You just got to do it once. Once you've done it once, it's really easy to do. It's kind of complicated to describe, but you'll get a feel for it. You heard that the station has the most homeless. It does, but they're also very helpful. And honestly, you need a friendly face when you get off that train ride. And everyone there's so kind. Well, thank you, Trigger Bear Spike. That's incredibly kind for you to say. I would like to talk about some more third-party-ish stuff. Here's one of my problems. I have too many ideas at the same time. I don't finish anything. And then I get worried that I'm doing the wrong one. That's why I was saying the phrase earlier, just do what I want. That's something I'm trying to focus on. Because if I just do what I want, then that means I make things. If I worry too much about doing the right thing, nothing gets made. And it becomes a symptom. It becomes a symptom of internal negativity. And I need to combat the symptoms of eternal negativity. That is some poetry on my chalkboards of no internal negativity. New Age Datsun's review go. So let me get you in on my mental process. I'm going to do a video about the New Age Datsuns. Wait a second. I want to make reference to how these are a sequel piece to the New Age Bumblebee. I haven't done a video for that. I need to write that script first. Oh, but that video is so old. Or that toy's so old. There's two of them. Should I do them as two separate videos? I'll do them both together in one video. Okay, I'll write part of the script. Oh, wait, this other thing got my attention. Wait, no, the Datsuns are out. But now there's all this other stuff. If I start the Datsuns, then I've got to catch up to these other things. Do I do the Datsuns as one big video or do them as separate videos? I'm doing them as one big video, by the way. That was outside of that character. I already filmed their packaging as one big thing, and I threw all their packaging into recycling. Anyway, Eternal Negativity is a band name. Hell yes, Eternal Negativity. And he used to do real poppy songs. That would be my kind of aesthetic. Have I been watching Beast Morphers? I haven't, but I've been hearing it's really good for, like... This is going to come off sounding like a dig, and it's not. From what I've heard, Beast Morphers is real darn good for Power Rangers. As a compliment, not as a, like, Power Rangers is dumb kind of thing. I don't know who Professor Calamutus is, but I'm probably him. I'm hearing voices outside, which is really weird because I'm nearly 10 stories above ground. So that means that it's probably Spider-Man. That web-slinging menace. Radioactive Spider-Man. I saw some Naked Without Subtitles. I like having subtitles. That's one thing. That's another thing. And people have commented on it already. Trying to make sure there's subtitles every, like, 30 seconds was a big problem for me, so I stopped doing it because it wasn't fun. Obviously, they're still in video reviews I make. But I'm only doing them if I feel like there's something for them to say. Trying to force them to say something like every 30 seconds is becoming it's becoming rote, and B, I think it was becoming, after I told people it's not, I think it was becoming an unhealthy outlet for self-loathing and negativity that was then affecting me on a larger scale. Silver League, the font, when do you think the font changed? Because it's always been Futura. Unless you mean, like, many years ago when I changed software. Then it probably shifted a bit then. But they're always Futura. Yeah, Picky Peeves. Part of the reason I haven't watched Beast Morphers is because I'm probably going to keep comparing it to RPM, and I think that's unfair. But I know I'll do it, so it's become an excuse to not watch it. Would Lightning Collection SPD Shadow Ranger be a good buy? I think that Lightning Collection, anything of a suit you like, is a good buy. It's a good line. It's got one problem. Where'd they go? Oh, they're over there. Okay, anyway, my one problem with Lightning Collection is that they're Hasbro 6-inch, which means there's no subtlety to the posing. But if you take that for granted that they are going to have a little bit of clunkiness, they're very good. My favorite Siege figure is Shockwave. Something about how they look this year looks different, like it isn't set to bold or something. There might have been, like, weird stuff I tweaked with the drop shadow or something, but they are always Futura. In fact, when I do contract work, and there's any text on screen, I always make it Futura as like my own personal thing. I'm like, hey, co-starring the subtitles. Wave Sign, I just got Siege Galaxy Convoy because he was on a one-day deal on Amazon Canada. I think I would not like him very much if I got him full retail, but on 33% off, I was surprised how much I'm digging him, given how much I already knew about him before I handled him. I was like, this actually feels pretty good. Commander Matt, would I judge you if you told me you want to make Classics Astrotrain your collection's Astrotrain? I would absolutely not judge you. There's like 3 or 4 different colorways of that toy by now. You got choices already. There was a time when that was the only Astrotrain in anyone's collection. So if I were to judge you, I would be judging the past. And yeah, a lot of Siege has been good. If I'm saying the best Siege, it's not to say like anything else is bad. It's just I like that Shockwave a lot. I should stream a TCG game where you transform a toy every time you transform the card. That would be interesting to shoot. I got an all caps judge the past from Daniel Lee. No, don't worry. I judge a lot of the past. I'm letting the hobby past though, like, get by. Crudel. I like your name. Amazing how there's pre-orders for Earthrise stuff in Canada, well, on Amazon, before Siege Springer even shows up here. We did have, like, Siege Springer has showed up in Canada at EB Games, and I think a Walmart has had them, but EB Games had most of them. I don't know if that actually helps, though. That might not be helpful, that answer. Thoughts on Runamuck and Runabout in the TCG? Now that Press the Advantage is banned, they are a thing, I think. A friend of mine wants to run a deck with them, trying to draw into Daring Escape, I think? Oh, no. Wants to run a heal deck with them, with Toolbox and Ratbat. And I think or not Ratbat, he can't fit Ratbat, but with some of the healing suite that the Siege sets have brought in. Will I be getting an Energon edition? I plan to somehow. I have no real plan how to, but I plan to somehow. Would you paint Alpha Bravo in G2 Slingshot colors if you had a second one? No, Mason Lee, this is interesting, because I want a second Alpha Bravo to paint up as a G2 Alpha Bravo of some kind, but I want the color scheme to be thematic but original, if that makes any sense. I also want a third Alpha Bravo to paint up and kind of bang up a little bit, to be like near-death Alpha Bravo for the purposes of my stories, but I don't know where to get... do people have junker Alpha Bravos they don't want? Because I need some Alpha Bravos. If I could have one Transformer as a personal Uber, who would it be? Alpha Bravo. Silver League. Press the Advantage is banned. So the biggest thing that stepped on Runamuck and Runabout's faces is gone. So I think they're quite viable. I don't think they're like, they're not obviously not like some kind of like hyper S-tier thing, but I think the only thing that was really stepping on their faces and their necks and their groins was Press the Advantage. And with that gone, I think they're a thing. Picky P, I gotta read Picky P's thing. I think I like this. Is anyone else upset that Rung turns into a gun? He's ellipses useful now. I hate it betrays the character. I got no real comment on that. I just like that. I like that anecdote. They made my boy useful! I betrayed! It's funny because it's wrong. Is Siege Barricade worth 20 bucks? Mold seems a bit tiny. Do you mean 20 American, and is that the retail price in the... So, the Siege Prowl mold, I think, is really good, and I think the worst version of it is Prowl, because the color scheme just washes away not just details, but the mold's silhouette as well. I haven't picked up Barricade yet, because I haven't seen him for sale, but I've seen him in person a couple times, and I think he looks super friggin' sharp. Like, if you're only going to get that mold once, I would actually say go for the Barricade version. Just try to get it on sale if you can. But I'm also I am currently a career try to get stuff on sale person. Like, if 20 bucks is not... If 20 bucks is, like, pocket change to you, then just do it, Yeah, Wave Sign, the story spoilers part I was trying to not have in my head when thinking of the anecdote. But yeah, I mean, when you get into the story spoilers, which I don't want to get into, just to be fair, yeah, you can have a more complicated discussion about that. Silver League will trade me an Alpha Bravo for my Slingshot. Well, I need the Slingshot for the purposes of my stories, unfortunately. Yeah, Daniel Magnowski. I just got to get to top 8, and I get my Energon edition. It's biggie. It's right. I just got to get to top 8. I mean, then I get an Energon edition. I get some toys. If I want to, I win. I'll see if I feel like it at the Energon Invitational. If I feel like winning and gracing the game with Omega Supreme, then we'll get there as well. Oh yeah, Wookiee Mart showing off that battle card. I think goes great with Runamuck and Runabout because it's just like flip no matter the mode. Yes, it's a no pip card, but that effect is so friggin' powerful. And on them, I think it's ridiculous. Does that camera on my desk transform? It kind of does. Because this is like a third-party add-on, this cage, and this is sort of a fourth-party thing to let it work with a certain tripod of mine. But then you can also like get some additional, swappable collectible lenses that go on the front, and then it's got a point of articulation over here, just for functionality's sake. I almost dropped it too. I dropped that on the floor while I was filming that Repro Labels thing, and it still works. So go me. Also, don't drop your cameras. You're well aware of the spoilers, still couldn't pass up the... Yeah, I know. I thought it was funny. Daniel Lee, fourth party is a terrible thing I've seen some people say on the TFW third party forum. Don't ever say fourth party, it's really stupid. It's part of this... It's part of this categorical pollution of the idea of what third party even means, which is extended out in this horrific direction. If it's just... I'll be fair. If it's just shorthand, that's fine. It's just like, I want people to acknowledge what the words mean. Cruel, you don't even play card games, but you like having the booster shred. I can't say my own words. VODs and WTCG in the background while you paint stuff, like right now. Yeah, I that's why I like to put them up. I figure it's helpful. I'm glad to hear it's been helpful for you. As some BG noirs. Yes, fourth party is a legit thing over in Fairy Tale Land, but... Oh, yeah, Waveside. Yeah. Second party. But you know what? I got tricked by that. I read the games journalist thing, not written by games journalism people, thing about what second party means. I got tricked by that. Yeah, second party's the consumer. I remember when I said second party's the consumer for the first time on Twitter, I got yelled at. I think that's what fired me up about it so much. Excuse this. Okay, first party is the IP holder. Third party is someone who's okay. I'm even getting it wrong, so I'm laymaning this in a way just to make it, something I can say louder. So third. Okay, yes. Also, Zimman. Yes. Correct. It is correct. Okay, I'll word this in a more clear way. It is incorrect to say third party means unofficial. That is categorically incorrect. Transformers fandom is at fault for propagating that specific nomenclature. We all did it. I feel very partly responsible, even though it wasn't just me, it was a whole lot of people. But third party can be licensed. What sucks is we were once filming a thing, those third-party roundups at TFCon we were doing when I was there. So we're filming one of those, and I said the phrase about a licensed third-party thing we were looking at a prototype of. Yeah, this is licensed third-party. And they were not wrong to do this. I understand why they did it, but the folks from that company kind of paused. Like, oh, hold on a second. And they're like, could you not call it third-party? Because we don't like the connotation that comes with that, with Transformers. And I was like, oh, I understand. I get you. That's really depressing that we have ruined that word to this degree. They wanted the phrasing to be, it is a licensed piece. Just that it is licensed. Because the phrase third party has been, it's not their fault, it's not, I want to really stress, it's not PR speak. It is because the phrase third party has been so sufficiently polluted that I don't blame anyone who's actually trying to sell something under the license for wanting to not have that phrase cross with their licensing of the IP. Like, I get it. It's a real friggin' bummer, though. I forgot the point I was making. Right, so first party in Transformers. These are first party. Third party is anything that Hasbro or Takara Tomy didn't themselves make, whether or not it's licensed. Fourth party doesn't exist. Third party add-ons to third party figures are still third party. There's the math. Third party is the third world of business lingos, says Daniel Lee. Yes, there you go. Zipman 2, it's not really Transformers fans. When it was new, we are in a unique position where we have this gigantic swathe of original engineered, IP infringing third party product that most other franchises don't get. And so we spent most of 08 through 2012 we got into saying we said third party is kind of covers, we just say third party, that covers all of it. We say 3P, we start forgetting what the acronym even means. And then suddenly, because we also, a whole bunch of us thought it would be done in 5 years, it keeps going, and then, oh no, we actually, from the ground up, ruined this. It's like all the people who are good, wholesome, awesome, great folks who do a lot to make the world around them feel good and better, who also posted a whole lot on 4chan when they were in their 20s. You know, it's that regretful thing. And just because a couple of stores have fourth party as a store category, that doesn't mean it's a real word. It means that it is such a sufficiently deranged and polluted term that the consumer wants to see it as in a checkbox. It still isn't a real term. It's still wrong that it's there. It's just that at this point, no one cares. That's the difference between something being real and this situation. It is not a real term. It's just that it's a virus. It's a toxic chemical spill of language. This is not how language evolves. Because if we're going to say this is how language evolves, then this is a hamburger. End of story. This is a hamburger. This is now real. This is a hamburger. I have now made this real. Eventually someone else will say, nah, I remember from the video. Dude said it's a hamburger. Or we all get in on the joke and we're like, hey, if we're so far gone, let's just pollute this already. All right, let's make a blood pact. Let's make one of those blood pacts. We're all gonna call the clear plastic official release of the MP track stand a hamburger. And then when anyone else asks, we're like, no, it's a hamburger. Daniel Lee is on the right track. You want a bite of this hamburger? Oh, this one's mine. You go get your own hamburger. There's nowhere that uses the term fourth party unironically that I'm aware of, because it's eventually, okay, what's sixth party? That's what I would like to know. I think actually I've asked this and we've gotten some funny answers. But, yeah, I need to know what sixth party is if there is a fourth party. Because if there's a fourth party, that means there's a fifth party, and that means there's a sixth party, because we can just keep adding on to it. But if sixth party is a bootleg of a fourth party toy, I thought fourth party was bootlegs of third party toys, so what's the fifth party then? Are those second party bootlegs of third party toys? Since that adds up to 5? Man, this is buried in a stream VOD. Just someone someday down the... If you actually went... Okay. Without chat replay, this won't play as well. I want someone to walk up to a customizer and say to their face, oh, you made a nice fifth party toy. And then just maintain eye contact no matter what happens next. I also just noticed that streams don't have dislike listings anymore. There's just number of viewers and number of likes. Thanks YouTube, I guess. Just make me feel better. Yeah, third party chemtrails real. Doc the 10th, sixth party is that thing I was doing where I was showing you how to store your toys safely in stackable storage containers. That's some sixth party action going on. I also just have this thing, which I think I inherited from my mom, where I'm okay with acronyms to a point, but some acronyms just irritate me because I feel like people don't know what they're even supposed to mean in the first place. They just heard someone else say it. That's why, like, in this fandom, 3P gets on my nerves, and Chug gets the hell on my nerves. I don't want people to yell at people over it. It's a personal thing. It just gets on my nerves. It's like how for some people, if you say fastidious, they're like, I hate that word. I hate the word fastidious. Yeah, chuggerts. Well, if you love fourth party toys, then you like what I mean, my phrase for them is usually luxury knockoffs, because for the most part, they tweak molding, but then there's also some where it's just mech fans toys, which is like, I don't know. It's like someone Mech Fans Toys tends to be someone pushes the button a whole bunch of times, and they sell whatever came out, and sometimes it's good. Oh yeah, basically everything's been generations since 2013. It's always in the subtext. It's always in the fore title. So if third party is licensed, no, third party you can have licensed third party or unlicensed third party. That's the easy differentiator. So that stuff all stays here. But yeah, Ronnie Lane's on the right part. You got your Chuggard Squaturapot Fuquus. Sorry, I mispronounced that. You got your Chuggard Squaturpot Puifkus, which is your current generations line. Or we can just do the thing that I really selfishly wanted people to just do because I think it sounds cool, and you call everything from 06 onwards, not 06 onwards, that's classics. You call everything from 2010, 2011 onwards, neo-classics. Boom! Mech Fans Toys stuff is actually quite a muddled puddle right now. It's just given how they started, I'm always, whenever they have something that isn't someone else's design resized, I'm like, did you buy that design or did you find it somewhere? I guess is the way I would put it. Do I have any Diaclone reboot figures? I do. I filmed all their boxes. That's how far I got, and then I got confused about where to start. Because I got way too hung up on the part where there's two different versions of that first toy that came out. And it doesn't matter. And now that, like, Mech Fans Toys got their version out, it super doesn't matter. But, no, I have a couple of them. I stopped picking them up because they're just too... I actually don't think there's a problem with how expensive they are, given how I think that they're made. But I stopped with the first Warrider stuff, just because I really like that Warrider stuff. But I had to hold off. I had to hold off. It's just... Again, it's the thing where it's like, I can't buy everything. So eventually I gotta pick and choose what I spectate. And it doesn't mean they're bad. It just means, like, you know... I don't got enough big payola. I don't got enough, what's the word? I don't got enough cheese. I don't got enough, here's actually this is one of my petty pet peeves. There's a specific way sometimes people say the word money where I get irritated, and it's completely indefensible. There's no justifiable reason what I do. I'm okay when you say, like, yeah, I got money. But when you're talking about it, like, do you have any money? For some reason, that irritates me, that specific pronunciation. There's some personal tech spec information. Oh no, the chat kept going and I lost it. I'm sorry. I am currently at cheese-based economy and going down from there. Money, I'm okay with. It's just that specific, like it's usually on the couched in some kind of like harsh reality, kind of like attempting to do the turn the chair around backwards and talk to someone thing. Where like, all that matters is whether or not you have money. You need the money in order to pay your bills. Like, it's for some reason, it's the specific way people tend to say money when they're having that discussion that like is like a needle on my chalkboard. I like moolah. Moolah's fun to say. I like how the Gaia memory says money a whole lot. Yeah, them greens! That's the one I was looking for. Yeah, sorry, not cheese. That's right. It's cheddar. What am I saying? I'm the friggin' guy who heard one line in a movie and misremembered it, and I walk into a room like, anyone got any cheese? And everyone's just like, what the hell are you talking about? Am I okay with referring to money as bread? I'm of no opinion of that. I am terrified how serious I am when I'm saying that. I'm sitting here assessing. I'm like, oh, if someone says you have any bread and they're talking about money, would it skeeve me? I don't think I would react. Wokimar. First you get the money, and then you get the guns, and then you get the Transformers toys. Y'all got that, Benjamin? Skeeve, yeah, and actually the way wow, hang on, sorry. Imagines my face. Actually, the way you spell skeeve is like that, but with an E on the end, a silent E. S-K-E-E-V-E is the way you spell it. I can't actually keep going on this dead presidents on money thing, because I live in Canada. We don't have dead presidents on our money. We don't have presidents. That's not a Canadian office to be occupied. I could say it grinds my gears, but like so many people say grinds your gears, I always feel like I'm inadvertently quoting someone and I don't even know who they are. Remember 40 minutes ago when I was like, yeah, I should probably do this another 10 minutes or so in the stream? The archive version of this is going to be so disappointing, where someone's going to see the title, Energon Invitational Sealed Practice. 150 minutes. And then after 30 minutes, it's nothing to do with that anymore. Turbo Spinach, do you know how down I am for people to start spelling toonies with a W? I am so down for that. I hate that it's just loonies with a T in the front. For some reason, there's another one. There's no reason why that should bother me. But and it doesn't bother me the way some of those other things bother me, but I'm like, if okay, loony, okay, then the $2, that's the $1 coin, because there's a loon on it. The $2 coin, I guess we can call it the toonie, okay, but if you spell it Toonie, then we have started to demolish the etymology of where this term came from. And people are going to be like, oh, the cartoon coin. And anyway, no one says that. It's just me. So you'd say I'm quoting Peter Griffin. However, I first heard Grinds My Gears as a segment that used to be on Canadian Slag, the Cybertron CA podcast, but in its first form when one of the Mima brothers had that as a segment he would do. Now, there's a reach. And then many years later, I found out that was a Family Guy thing, and I was like, I didn't know. Oh, didn't know Family Guy ripped off a Canadian Transformers podcast. You call them Moonies because it's a loony with a bear behind it. That's also, yeah, our toonie has a bear on it. FYI. Is it worth watching the movie Venom? I still haven't, but I inadvertently watched about a quarter of it in YouTube clips, and it seemed fine. From what I hear, it's a fun movie. It's like, you just go in, have a good time. It sounds like it fulfills that. Podcast recommendations. I'm a very boring podcast person right now because I'm basically just permanently catching up on the Giant Beast cast, because that's of all the podcasts there are, that's the one that I generally just enjoy, and so I want to stay caught up with it, and that ends up being that I fall behind several weeks at a time, and I'm just perpetually catching up on it, and then that's the only podcast I've been listening to. I also really like Friends at the Table. I've been listening to their counterweight campaign, which is years old now, and I'm still only about halfway through. But I listen to it, now, kind of like how I watch Kamen Rider Ghost. I listen to a few episodes at a time, and Friends at the Table is a pretty good one if you like actual play podcasts, or if you don't know what those are, give it a try. It's pretty cool. Oh boy, I'm talking very fast. I'm talking extremely fast. What's up? Turbo Spinach, fun fact, punching out the center of a toonie is, if you're not mistaken, a crime. It is a crime, because when the toonie came out, everyone was like, oh, I wonder how I can separate the middle coin from the outer coin. And then it became a crime because Canada was like, if you destroy all of our money doing this, that's a problem. Yes, I'll say. Pre-Order 66. I want to know what someone who's never listened to Pre-Order 66 would think if they just listened to all of it now. I wonder how it sounds. That's an older toy podcast that unfortunately has currently come to a close, but had some fine people on it. Oh, Ronnie Lane, you're not the only one who said this. I'm like me with the Beast cast, but other people with my podcast is so relatable. I'm like, no, I get it. I can relate. Oh, we were working backwards. Like, I can understand that too. I was started with the Beastcast on episode 0, so I luckily never had to do catch up in the other direction. Canadian currency crime. Moonbase 2 is yes. I'm biased though because I appear on there every now and then. Hard biased. Commander Matt, you might be gone already, but I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Have a good talk. I really got to stop this in the next, like, 5 minutes or so. I just saw what the time is. Like, oh my god, I thought it was still before midnight. Silverleague, King Starscream deck dropping Dragstrip for Vanguard to give him a turret helmet head. I'd like to see how that plays. The thing with King Starscream right now that I need to get over is his big trick gets deactivated by hand disruption and also security checkpoint, specifically those two things, where I'm like, when I don't face that, that's a fun deck. When I face that, I'm kind of like, I think I'm done. About 3 turns in, I'm like, if they security checkpoint me once, I'm like, I might, and not that I'm salty, I'm just like, I think I might scoop, because I don't think I can actually come back from this. Commander Matt, you were still here. Excellent. Yes, have good talks. Oh, Wave Sun, I had fun guesting on the Soto podcast. I want to be back on there. I got busy on weekends again, and it didn't line up the last couple times. But that was fun to yell about Soto toys for a while. I want to put more WTF and TFW up on here. I started doing it, and I always put the TCG ones up, but I keep like just falling behind on things. The thing that'll always slip right through my fingers is make some podcast excerpts to put on here so that there's copies of... Is that DefTF I just saw there? Did I just see DefTF? So there's copies of me talking about Transformers news on YouTube, because I think that makes sense to put here. It's just like hard to stay organized enough to reciprocate my medias over this way. But I still want to do that. I'm not going to give up on doing that. The stack is out of order. The stack is out of order. I'm going to clean my stack up. Daniel Lee, this is the best TCG stream. Yeah, we're here. Listen, we're here to give you the hardest edged, the hardest our TCG content here on these streams, here on this TCG channel. It is the hardest edged content. DefTF, I was just talking about your Shockwave deck. I need to, if you're headed for bed, and have a good night. But if you're still here, I was doing Energon Invitational Sealed practice, and it only took half an hour, and then the stream just kept going. But I was looking at Shockwave and looking at Ratbat and looking at Overwhelming Advantage, and I saw you put up a video, and I was like, oh, this is the right track. So I'm going to give my own version of that a try. But I am so down for that deck. I gotta give thumbs up. I was gonna try to give fist bumps. It's very hard to do backwards. But Major Shockwave bros, I'm so happy Major Shockwave is floating around. I love that card. That character's so good. He's so fun to play. For me, at least. That's right. I gave some ideas to revamp a Battle Chargers deck, and no one else on YouTube has banged Transformers TCG cards on a table as much as I have in this stream. All right? I might be reducing the resale value of these cards in my hand right here, but it's for the sake of our passion, okay? It's also to show these are pretty durable cards, all things considered. Sorry, just catching up on chat. Yeah, I goldfished the Shockwave Overwhelming deck I got going right now, and halfway through the second cycle, I was able to do the 15 direct damage. So I was like, oh, great. It's goldfishing, right? No interference, but I was like, if I'm able to do that just this one time messing around, like, it's not going to be every single time, but I was like, okay, yeah, the deck wants to stay built. It's like, oh, here, let me present myself to you. And I'm like, thank you so much. But yeah, that's what's going on. So we did the stream. I shot that unboxing for the free Hasbro box. I've got the footage 99% done for this boy, and I'm going to film myself talking about COPPA FTC stuff sometime over the weekend. You guys don't need to... I mean, please watch the video, because I'd love for you to watch all my videos, because I'm very biased. But it's a lot of stuff I already talked about in the streams. I want to have a video up, because I think it is important to have a video up with that in the title in... month of our Lord November, year of our Lord 2019, because it's on people's minds, and I think that there are a lot of folks who don't come to streams or don't watch vlogs, who just look at review videos, who are kind of thinking, well, if I don't see something saying something about it, either they're ignoring it or they're just going to close their channel down. That's the implication I have seen floating around, so I want to say something about it. Also, I am very very saltily into the idea of, for at least 2 more months, monetizing a video talking about that stuff. There's something revenge about that I'm really into. Fliegerfaust. So, Slayer Shoop, what if I told you this whole time when you're saying the Pacific, I thought you were talking about just the West Coast? And I was like, I don't think there's a reason why I would be I guess if you I know what you mean now. Now I understand. But I was like, where is this coming from? Okay, enough people in the chat are put ad breaks at the top of it. You know what? I mean, when I did the one that I ended up wanting to redo, it was like 25 minutes long. This one will probably still be near 20 minutes long. I'll put ad. Yeah. Let's stuff it with ad breaks. I mean, okay, here's the thing. Let's be real. It's not revenge on YouTube. YouTube gets a bigger cut of those ads than the creator does. I would be doing YouTube a favor. So, no matter what happens, we lose. But let's at least pretend like we're winning, eh? Yeah. Oh man, I dropped an A. I never do that. I know what you're gonna say. Oh, the Canadian said A. But truthfully, how often do I say that? This was 150 minutes plus of me talking candidly, and that's the only one I dropped. So, Zed, I'll say all the time. I'm getting onto another tangent. And yeah, DefTF, who is Stefan, who has a very good TCG channel you guys should watch if you want to see some TCG stuff. Theory is, it seems so good because you take cards from your opponent while you build up the plan if they try to stop you, and Shockwave can play a normal game. Yeah, that's the thing about Shockwave. And yeah, I'll catch you later, Stefan. I will see you at PAX, most probably. But yeah, the thing about Shockwave that's so fun, as long as you just build a deck that lets Shockwave make use of the fact that he can see the top card of the deck, which is so many scenarios, like, you can have a Shockwave deck that's going for overwhelming advantage, and if your opponent sees you flip it and sees you pick it up and they're like, we better stop that overwhelming advantage, you can be like, yes, please, stop me from putting 3 specific upgrades on Shockwave. Please make that the focus of the entire game for you. And then you just beat their dudes up with Shockwave. Oh yeah, Dan and Magnowski. Anyone else going to Energon Invitational? I'm going. In fact, it was already difficult for me to go to TFCon DC, and then I was like, I went to TFCon LA and I went to TFCon Toronto, and I'm like, it's not saying I don't want to go to TF. I want to go to both, but I had the choice of TFCon DC or PAX Unplugged, and I was like, PAX Unplugged is going to be the culmination of this card game that I have spent a year really enjoying, and I just feel like I'm, especially since I qualified, I was like, I want to go there more, so I had to make the decision, and then it played out really well because I was able to get a media badge. What's that? I got a media badge to PAX. I got one of these hashtag free products. Haha, shill. Draganta197. I'll have a video up about it. I talked about the COPPA FTC stuff a whole lot on here. I'm gonna put up a video about it too. But I talked about it so much on here. I'm not saying don't ask about it. It's just I did talk about it a ton on here, and I'm gonna do a video about it too. So it'll be there. It'll be in this archive video if you go through this whole 3 hours of nonsense. But I'll have a video up about it as well. The main bullet point as far as if you like my channel is my channel's not going to go away by my hand. And I'm going to do everything I can to make it not go away by YouTube's hand. So that's my current take on it. Also, thank goodness I was able to connect with Hasbro Canada before all the Toy Channel analytics are going to probably bottom out to some degree. I hope you guys don't mind my candor about that stuff. I just don't see a reason trying to, like, skirt around hooking up with a PR person. It's just I was able to do that at Fan Expo because Hasbro's based in America. Thus, it is very difficult to talk to them from Canada. At Fan Expo, there were Hasbro people there from Canadian Hasbro, and I was able to establish contact that way. And so, as I said, thank goodness I was able to do that before potentially everything gets all boat shook. Do I have any icons? I do not. I try to stay away from roleplay toys if they don't have electronics in them. And I'm still trying to stay away from 01 just because when I did Exade and when I did just the in-show watches from Zio, it became a thing and it became an expenditure where I was halfway through going like, well, I can't stop now, but I kind of wish I hadn't started. Damn it. Ronnie Lane, I'm glad. Have a good night. I hope someone can time tag for you where that chug monstrosity happened so you can click a button and just relive it whenever you want. I don't remember anymore where the time code was for that. It's Sam, yeah, I didn't say hi to you before, but yeah, Sam, I'm glad you were able to drop by as well, from over on the West Coast. Yeah, the 01 roleplay toys look amazing. I'm just gonna really try hard to wait till the show's over and then try to scoop some of the secondhand regret ones. Because the thing I have learned is while I love electronic laden roleplay rider toys, I don't need them when the show's on the air. So I did that with Exade to a certain degree. I got a lot out of it picking it up after the fact. So I'm still okay to do that for my own satisfaction. This is a weird hand gesture. But yeah, what was I saying? About someone like 4 hours ago asked if I was going to review the 3.0 DLX Optimus. I am, because they sent me a copy of it, which I don't actually know if I'm supposed to send back afterwards. But that is the review I'm going to do after Siege Optimus. The current schedule, and I hate to use the word because I'll flake it so hard, but in my head, it is a video about the review of him, and then, in some order, video about COPPA FTC, and the video of opening the 35th anniversary PR box, then a review of 3A DLX Optimus. That is the current plan. Which I would like to do all of that before December. That is what I would like to do. I think I'll have the time. I'm going to go on one last tangent, but hopefully this is relatable to someone. So, I don't think I'm going to have freelance work coming in very much next week, which means I'll have the time to do... oh, hang on. No, Daniel Magnowski, I got the invite to the Invitational. I got the invite. So I'm going to be playing in the Invitational. I qualified twice in Toronto, so I got it, and then someone below me got a trickle down. Or I got a trickle down. Anyway, I qualified twice. So, what was I saying? So, I will have a bunch of stuff come in. So, that's stage 2. Stage 1, sorry, I'm putting my thoughts together. Stage 1 is, I want to do so much. I don't have any work going on right now. And then this was October for me. I'm going to spend 2 weeks just in a depressed sloth haze, not doing anything, because I feel useless. And then suddenly I have a whole bunch of freelance work, which is great. But then, oh no, but I wanted to do all this stuff, and now, oh no, now I can't do all this stuff. I'm doing my freelance work. And then, so now I'm coming off of a bunch of freelance stuff, and I think I have next week just so free to work on YouTube type things. My fear, because this happens all the time, is that next week instead I'll be like, oh, I don't have any freelance work going on. I guess I'm just useless. And then the week will disappear, and then I'll feel, and it's a cycle, and then I'll feel more self-loathing because I didn't do anything that week because I was already in that little pit, and it becomes this really nasty cycle, which the silver lining to me, and this is bothering me. Thank you. The silver lining to me, and the thing that I think is constructive, is I'm able to self-separate enough to recognize this is happening, so I'm not wondering why all this is happening. These, negative feelings, for instance. I'm able to identify the cause and effect. Now, do I have a solution? Not really, other than just trying to not do it. But I take some solace in the recognition of what is happening, if that makes any sense. Anyway, so what I'd like to do is in the next week or so, finish that video, get the unboxing up, get the COPPA thing done, and then try to bang out that 3A DLX Optimus video. And yeah, how do I pay myself? I mean, I have a Patreon running, and thank goodness I still have patrons on there. So whenever, I have it set for per video, in the sense that you can set a monthly cap, so I only get Patreon payments if I put a video out that month that is tagged as something that I consider to be Patreon payable. Anyway, I completely lost track of my point. But that 3A Optimus thing, I'm sure I can bang out if I just put my mind to it, because also he's a giant action figure. There is no worry about figuring out a transformation montage. Yes, I still need to pre-reg with Pastime, because here's what I did. I went to look at the pre-reg thing, and then they had all those packages, and I got confused, and I said I'll do it tomorrow, and that was like a week ago. But yeah, I need to ignore... I was looking at the Transformers, like, the $200 package of, like, and you get a bunch of event entries, and I was like, ooh! And then I was sitting there going, like, wait, do I need event entries? Because I'm in the Invitational, and I don't think, outside of maybe one qualifier on Friday for practice, I'm going to actually enter more events. So I don't think I need that package. I just need to register for the Invitational and then pre-order a playmat. What is today but yesterday's tomorrow? That is a good saying. That is a very good saying. Sorry, I'm scrolling back a little bit. Yeah, I want to treat reviews like free. Here's another tangent. I like getting more real about this stuff, because it seems like you guys are okay with it. Well, y'all are okay with it. I don't know. Y'all in the chat right now. Some of you in the chat right now seem okay with it. But I believe, even with all these changes coming, I believe that the way that I make stuff on here, it's not like it would be necessarily a sole form of income. I don't think that I am yet in a position where I could feasibly continue to make sure I'm pushing stuff out unless I really smooth out a process of some kind. But I feel like if I just keep making what I make and try to just make it with some vague sense of regularity and hopefully stop getting so depressed about stuff. And I say depressed, I don't think it's, I don't know if it's capital D depressed, it's just I don't know a better word for it right now. I think that I could maintain having a decent side income stream of making toy videos that I like to make that I feel like are of a certain level of quality, which I feel confident about saying now, which took me a long time. I just got to do better at that. So this is bouncing off the phrasing of treating this like freelance work. That is how I try to think of this. And sorry, who is the shadow figure behind the bad Transformers toys? I thought you meant in this shot. And I was like, where's the shadowy figure? And I was like, do I have a cryptid? Am I haunted here? Is my stream getting haunted? Is there someone standing over there looking at all of you? If there is, by the way, like, don't make eye contact with him and you'll be fine. As long as you don't look him in the eyes, he won't get you. But if you look him in the eyes, doesn't matter where you are, he'll run to you and he will do redacted to you. Piggy Peeves need to get stuff to take care of cards. I don't know how many sleeves you need. So damage counters, dice are fine. But if you're in the States, look at some of the Etsy stuff. There's some really cool damage counters on Etsy. For sleeves, personally, a little pricey. I highly recommend Katana sleeves by Ultimate Guard. I really like them for Transformers because the decks are not too tall. They're 40 cards. Ultra Pro Eclipses are also very good. Dragon Shields are... Dragon Shield mats are always good. They're just... Sometimes they hurt my hands. This is another weird tangent. Sorry, this is just happening now. But the first version of the COPPA video I shot, you could see a little, very hazy, dim view of it was my head here, and way in the back out of focus is very creepy, dim view of my kitchen. And since the shot wasn't moving, I kept thinking, if I do that shot again, what if I then, you know, after I finish, keep the camera running, run back there, and do some creepy stuff out of focus, and then, like, not crop, but key that, matte that in. So while I'm doing this big talk, if you actually are watching it, you might go back, oh, what's he look like while he's talking? And you see some weird figure just like moving around in the background. I was like, that could be fun. And I was like, that seems like a great way to take a month to come out with a video about a current event topic. So I'm not going to do that. But that idea crossed my mind briefly. Picky Peeves deck box. If you want just a cheap one that can hold character cards, there is one Ultra Pro deck box. It's a black one that is this big, and it has 2 slots in the front for normal cards. That is, like, it's like $3 Canadian for one of those. They're built very badly, but they work, basically, as a thing that will hold cards. There are way better ones on Etsy. Absolutely. A haunted toy review would be nice. This isn't answering the question properly, but if you do want to see a haunted toy review, I don't know if you've seen it, this is many years old now, go into my channel, look for a review of SH Figuarts Sailor Moon, and then go and look for a video review of SH Figuarts Sailor Mercury. I think those are the only 2 that I ever got as review samples. But those 2 reviews, I tried to do some stuff with them. some creepy stuff. Not like, okay, I just realized, okay, when I say creepy stuff, and I'm talking about the Sailor Scouts, sorry, the Sailor Senshi, then that might easily sound like pervy creepy. But no, I meant like horror creepy. There might be pervy creep. I don't remember. Those reviews I made back in like 2011, 2012, 2013. I made them a long time ago. This is sounding worse by the moment, and I might just be rolling with that. I don't know anymore. Anyway, haunted toy reviews. SH Figuarts Sailor Moon. I reviewed at least 2 of them. Those reviews are haunted. I got myself very confused during that. It's impressive how confused I got in those last 140 seconds or so. Pat myself on the back. That's why I wish I could figure out a way to do Twitch streaming that I would feel really into. Because I like the idea of doing a thing and talking a whole bunch and interacting, which I am, yes, doing right now. I just think Twitch is probably a more secure platform for that than here. I just gotta figure out what to do on Twitch. I think once I make VBuild 100, which I shot back in 2016 at the YouTube space, once I finish making that thing, I'm gonna move VBuilds over to Twitch, or here if I get to keep stream. I don't know. Anyway, I want to stream VBuilds. I want to do VBuilds as just a streaming thing. I think that would be fun. I'm catching up on chat now. I can't stop myself. Picky P's Micromaster Pack for Earthrise. That's Armada Perceptor. I wish. Who do I bribe? Who do I bribe 3 years ago to make that happen? Sorry, a year and a half ago to make that happen. Sailor Moon Transformers, was that a thing that happened or was it a fever dream? You're thinking of girls in Transformers is all. That was Kiss Players, I think, is what you're... I think that's what you're thinking of. Right? Right? Video games. Another. Here's what's going on in my brain. I want to move video games. I want to do more games streaming of games I like, which is basically just Hitman 2. But I also want video games to also be tabletop game stuff. So I want to do tabletop gameplay. I have a very messy, cluttered apartment because I don't live a good personal life, is my phrasing. I probably live a completely fine personal life, but I have a very messy place. Once I clean it up, I know I can record tabletop gameplay here that would look pretty cool. Oh, this one's for you. Hey, Graham. Hey, Graham. I name dropped. You don't have to identify yourself. Did I ever tell you in the last month at Meeple Mart, they put up a damaged copy of GKR Heavy Hitters for like 35% off. So I just bought it on site and I went to pick it up. Do you know what the damage was? There was a ding on the top right corner of the box, and I got it for 35% off. I feel like I won. They have both expansions there too, but those expansions are not on sale, so I'm not sure if I'll ever pick those up anytime soon. But, sorry, that was my hand. I spat on my phone, so I was trying to wipe my phone off, and then my finger crept around right in front of the lens, like it's doing right now. I dropped something. What did I drop? My bottle cap! No! I have to just put my head through between my legs, lean down, yoga pose. Got it. Ding-based economy. Bot-bots or mini-cons? Bot-bots. I like mini-cons more, but bot-bots have chutzpah. Any locals in Toronto sell those really nice cardboard boxes big enough for top-loaded character cards? I don't necessarily know what those are. Are you talking about, are they the white cardboard ones? Or the Magic the Gathering ones? The Magic the Gathering ones are from standard set bundles. Those boxes hold character cards really well. They just, you need a rubber band to like keep them from opening up. Oh, you kickstarted GKR Heavy Hitters? Man, I have a copy of the game you kickstarted, and I got it for 35% off. Man, wow, wow. What's that voice? Oh, wow, wow. I don't know what happened there. That was a glitch. That was a programming error. We all have to forget that happened. No one can reference that ever again. Oh, Video Game Switch Part 2. I don't know if... I think that footage became too difficult to synchronize together with other footage, and then, so I gave up. I still have it all. It's just like, it became the thing that old V-builds became, where when I was shooting them with the good camera, where it's like, the sheer amount of work needed to put this together is no longer equating with the amount of positive feedback I'm getting. Come on, Sora! We got Close the Door to Darkness! I've never played Kingdom Hearts. I watched the Unraveled about it, so I basically know everything about Kingdom Hearts. I almost said King of Hearts. That's how much I know about Kingdom Hearts. I know it's actual working, I know... Hang on. Hang on. I know that... Well, okay. But actually, I know that its actual working title was King of Hearts. That was the whole thing. All that build-up was just for that. What's up? BDG is pretty solid. I'm down with some BDG. If I could buy myself a BDG, I'd probably buy one. But you know, they don't make them. They don't make them mass production yet. Wave Sun, I dare say. No, I don't. I was about to... No. I know more about Gundam. I know more about Gundam than Kingdom Hearts. But I do know a whole lot about both. Daniel Lee, Metzel is more confusing because I don't know what it is. Oh, Metal... Okay. I thought it was something called Metzel, and I was like, I have no idea what that is. So that seems way more confusing, because what's a Metzel? It was a misspelled Metal Gear that had sent to chat before the word gear was written. That's what that was. If someone sent me the whole Kingdom Heart collection, what if that happened? Question from the chat. I think those discs would remain in very good condition for a long time. That sounded way more assholey coming out of my mouth than I meant for it to. Good note for the future. Until disc rot sets... Yes. True. I always forget about disc... I hate thinking about disc rot. Disc rot bums me out. I probably lost a ton of fan subs to disc rot. Back in the day, in the aughts, when I would burn my fan subs to CDRs for storage. Those are probably all gone. What's a CD? Oh, it's a good question. Whoa! Sorry. An electrical cable that was hanging next to my head just fell down, and I thought it was a ghost. What's going on? What's a CD? A CD stands for cryptic delineation, which is how they would code data into these old objects, which we called plastic donuts back in the day as a nomenclature. Basically, they'd use magnets to hammer information, kind of physically, into these plastic donuts. Oh, did I get my PAX badge? Yes, I didn't order it right away because I applied for a media badge, Daniel Mineski, and then I got a reply saying you got a media badge. So I was like, thank goodness I can save $70. So in order to make that media badge worthwhile and in good spirit, I'm going to spend part of Friday trying to get at least 1 or 2 interviews done on the show floor with whatever looked really interesting to me. Because I'm very particular. This cable's about to fall again. There's a friction problem on this metal thing. I'm very particular. Ever since New York Comic Con, I'm very particular. If you get a media badge, you gosh darn well need to do at least one fudge pie dropping media thing. Please. Like, I know media badges are often like, I got a media badge, got in free, and I can get all the exclusives. But, like, for crying out loud, if you, someone out there listening to this right now, if you get a media badge, please, you be media for like 10 minutes. Because I was at a New York Comic Con back in like 2011 in the media lineup, and there were these 4 dudes in front of me patting each other on the shoulder, going like, "Oh, I got another media badge, huh? Well, here's my list of all the toy exclusives I gotta go, not even toy exclusives, here's a list of all the exclusives I gotta go get so we can hawk them on eBay." Almost word for word. They had zero intention. They said it. They had zero intention of using those media badges to do a single thing as media. And for some reason, that really got under my skin. So anyway, I don't know where that rant came from, but that happened. Trigger Bear Swag. I'm going to get this one in the spoken word rereading off the chat because he said it a couple times. You'll have basically everything about BotBots except that they cannot fit in Transformers' hands. Yes, that what we need is we need someone to design grips for BotBot alt modes that have 5mm pegs on them. And then we can live the dream. Or just get a bunch of poster putty. Like, here, let's end on an experiment. Let's just say, let's make you into... No, I have one over here who's already... Let's say that you have a Transformer who is pie. And let's say that Optimus Prime is like, "I want to fill my mouth with that delicious crimson juicy pie." And you want to have that as like a pose that he's doing. Hang on, I missed something about daily logins. That feeling when you're so busy paying attention to the stream, you miss your daily login stream. Oh, I missed a daily login on Horus Heresy Legions, and I lost my veteran status for 7 days, and I don't even use it, but I was bummed out. Anyway, here we go. So let's take some of this poster putty. I use poster putty for helping me prime my miniatures, FYI. And then we'll just slap this down here. And then we just slap this on here. Boom. Ah, I, Optimus Prime, can finally sink my teeth that I have behind this faceplate into this delicious, juicy red cherry pie. I love putting pie in my mouth because I'm Optimus Prime. Whoa, guys, Optimus Prime, did you hear? He was just talking. Did you hear that? Am I hearing things? Optimus? Are you there? No? Okay. Oh, that was weird. Anyway, you can use poster putty in a pinch for photos. Obviously, that's not going to like help for displays or, interacting with toys in a meaningful way, but there's a solution for you. Movie Prime's too tall. He won't fit in my cell phone shot. This is fun, though. I like getting this pan with my armature I have here. Also, hey, I have filmed pieces of a million videos. You'll know that they're from the depressed 2019 era, when a whole bunch of them you'll see this stuff just sort of skittering around in the side. It's going to be a very strange phenomena that I'm going to forget about, but there's a little spoiler for y'all. Because I'm not careful with my shots, and I keep catching parts of my Monster Apocalypse packaging over there. And I'm like, whatever. Who's gonna say something? Who's gonna say something? And who'll believe them? Give me your crust. Turn Optimus into a crab. Is that like a... Is that like one of those? Is that one of those kink things that we do? I mean, I'm down. But Optimus and Megatron fighting over the pie. I am Optimus Prime, and I want pie. No, I want the pie. Mine's the biggest on Cybertron. That's the first time. Personal story. First time I ever did a G1 Megatron impersonation was at like BotCon 06 when we were all reading some printed off Transformers porn fiction, and the big line I always remember from that, where Megatron was having some time with a personal assistant lady robot, and she was like, oh my god, Megatron, sorry, oh Primus Megatron, it's so massive. And in Megatron's line, I thought it was so funny if you had it in like a G1 Megatron voice, where he was like, and I'll always remember perfectly this line, you can quote this, quote, Mine's the biggest on Cybertron. You're very lucky. It was the comma, you're very lucky that always killed me. Because I was like, man, friggin' cartoon supervillain, of course you're the one who would not only make that declaration, but you'd then assert how much of a service you're performing by unleashing that upon one of your subordinates. Anyway, thank you all for checking out this Transformers TCG focused YouTube live stream here on this For Kids channel. I think I actually made this stream set as for kids, so that's funny. I'll be around. I'll talk to y'all later. I still want to stream more. I say this literally every stream, but it's true. It's just that, you know, like that thing I was talking about before. Time just passes by. That I don't want that to stop happening. In my head, not in general. I want to stream more. I still have a Wizards comp box of Siege 2. They sent one, and then I think FedEx tried to deliver it, but never left a paper slip, and I have no number for it. So they said if it just disappears, we'll sort it out. So if that gets sorted out, there'll be a stream for that box, even if I already have all the cards. We're streaming that box. I want to do some more streams. I like streaming. It's fun. Anyway, I'll post. If you're new to this whole scenario and you think I'm disappearing off YouTube now and then, and it comes off that way, I am always hanging around Twitter. So if you're really not sure where I'm at and you're worried I might have fallen off the face of the earth, shoot me a message on Twitter. I will most probably reply to you. If I don't, it's because it was a DM and Twitter shunted it to some distant DM from someone you don't know box. And I apologize on their behalf for that, because I think that's super rude. So, I don't know, at me or something. If I don't reply to an at, and it's not like an asshole at, I literally just didn't reply and forgot to. I never subtweet non-reply, unless it's like straight up like an asshole tweet. But then usually I just like mute that person. So I do have a Discord. Currently it is just for patrons, and for if it goes through the patron thing, but that they do here, that's not called patrons, but it basically is. I don't know whether I want to like just open it all the way, only because I really like how chill it is right now. And I don't think it's going to be like floodgates if I publicly post it. I'm not that popular, but I kind of like how chill and halfway useless it is. There's something comforting about it. That's not meant to come off as like a negative statement at all. It's just that's the words coming out of my mouth. I mean them in a positive way. But I do have a Discord. I don't know what to do with it yet, except have it as a place for patrons to talk about stuff. And I really want to say this clearly. I'm not structuring this anecdote I'm sharing right now to say, so if you want to join the club, better become a patron. Because I don't like that idea at all. So, yeah, that's what it is right now. I am not trying to, like, suck people into a Patreon on the basis of you get to join a Discord. Because, let me tell you, that Discord is super quiet most of the time. That would be a really lousy thing to try to upsell. And I also kind of like that it's chill. I wish that I was more attentive to it. Absolutely. So the idea of like being more attentive to it, but it still being that chill, is very attractive to me. That's a weird tangent. Anyway, I'll talk to you all later. I will always be around. I will always use the community tab to talk about really important things as long as I still have it. But yeah, if all that stuff disappears, and I'm going to cover this in a COPPA video, if everything social disappears off of this channel, you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Patreon. I have a Facebook page, it's /Vangelist Central. That is the one I check. That's the one that's related to videos. I don't use Facebook a ton outside of that. I have an Instagram, Vangelist Central. I got the Patreon, those are all places that I will still be chilling out, even if comment sections and social functions disappear off here. And that's the really important thing, not just for me, but for everyone on this platform. If they take away all channel growth tools, all interaction, all comments, etc. on toy videos as a blanket, and there's no guarantee they will, I'm just, worst case scenario. We still just put videos here and just share them elsewhere where we can still talk to you. So, I don't know. I find that to be comforting. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good night, everyone. How do you stop the stream? I always forget. I always try to end smoothly, and I'm like, where's the button? I found the button.